Bye. Wait a minute. What other shitty beads I can use? Where are they? I have piles of them. I don't know. Did I put them away? Shit. Where'd they go? That's not good. Are you kidding me? Fuck. Oh, they probably wouldn't match anyway. Alright. Good evening, everybody. Welcome back to the live stream. This is as exciting as it gets. It doesn't get any better than this. I'm gonna sit here, finish this giant mermaid teddy bear, and watch nothing on TV. And probably do some sewing and not pay attention to the chat, so. The usual. Where's the remote? There we go. Probably more theory of some kind. Let's see. Sure, we'll go with that one. Hello. There we go. I want white, but that would require me to do the Christmas supplies. I don't have the patience for that. So we're gonna go with the little white ones, but we're just gonna put a shit ton of them on.
I deleted Gary.
So you can barely see them in the fur. But if I had enough of them.
What YouTuber has the best drip from Ryan Fragrance to Anthony Padilla and the Chamberlain to Sophia Nygaard? We are about to find out by wearing their iconic outfits for an entire week. Hello Internet, welcome to Style Theory, the show that YouTube Premium subscription is finally paying off. Listen, if there's two things I love on this earth as much as my dog, it's YouTube
I don't know what to do
and
that.
fashion. Which means when I'm binging my daily recommended amount of YouTube
Hello.
videos, I'm not just
How are you today?
content, I'm paying attention to the clothes. What can I say? I'm nosy.
I want the bigger pearl.
It makes
Alright. There has to be some around this hole.
Now, I don't think I have
There has to be something I can use or make or put together. They're not it. The little ones are not it. I want something bigger.
I've assembled a list of 5 of my favorite legendary creators with iconic looks. And no, we won't just be looking at fashion creators. Why? Because signature
How are you doing tonight?
are universal. So for 1 week, I'm not going to dress as me. I'm going to dress as this. Remember,
Nope, you can do it.
it's the highest form of
I can keep that one.
hopefully these looks will flatter me on my journey to becoming my own YouTube fashion legend. I'll be great.
Alright, maybe we'll start with the other part. This is going on.
But who is a tsunami of style and who is just a leaky faucet? We are about to find out. It's time for legend and outfit number 1. First up, the copy run queen turned fashion royalty, Emma Chamberlain. She started her channel making videos about what it's like to be a high schooler, and now she is arguably the biggest creator of the moment since fashion was on and offline. Whether she's walking the carpet at the Met Gala or just hanging out in her kitchen wearing an everyday Emma fit, the girl knows her clothes. So the question is, which of Emma Chamberlain's many looks should I
Ow.
wear?
Mother humper. This is one of them old needles. Like grandma's time and it's sharp as fuck. Maybe a little bit too sharp to the dollar one. Holy shit.
A lot of layering, some maxi skirts, some baggy pants. It isn't usually what I wear, but that's kind of the point of doing this, right? I'm kind of surprised at the lack of black turtlenecks because about a year ago she made a whole video about how that was a staple of your wardrobe. I'm actually seeing a lot of turtlenecks, tank tops, all kinds of white shirts. I'm also seeing a lot of jeans and a lot of oversized outerwear. Now that I feel like I know Emma's closet both inside and out, it's time to show you what outfit I picked for day 1 that I thought encapsulated Emma's style. As much as one outfit can. And while I change into my Emma Chamberlain look, let's take a look at another fashion chameleon, Barbie. Why is it not working? What did you do? Oh, I see. You don't have a VPN, so you can't watch Barbie in your country. Well, we can change that. And by we, I mean you, me, and our partner for today's episode, NordVPN. Nord is the MVP of VPNs that are out there. Top-of-the-line cybersecurity for affordable prices. Plus, their next-generation encryption keeps your data safe. No more unwanted trackers or malware attacking your data and stealing your information. And it's the affordable option. If you're looking to save money and still get to watch all of your favorite shows, with Nord, you can get access to the entire world of Netflix's catalog. Not just what's available in your country, like Barbie. Yeah, if you didn't know, just because you subscribe to something like Hulu or Netflix doesn't mean you get to have their entire catalog. But with NordVPN, you can change that. All you have to do is click and suddenly your location can be anywhere in the world. And then those gatekeepers can't keep you from watching Barbie just because you aren't in the great down under. And one subscription to Nord is way less expensive than paying for a dozen different streamers just to try and watch your favorite movies and shows. Plus, one account lets you use NordVPN on like up to 10 devices. It's pretty sweet. And as a special gift to you style theorists, Nord is offering a huge discount on their 2-year
Then I'd use the free one.
4 months free, baby. Yes, 4 months completely free. All you have to do is go to nordvpn.com/styletheory or click the link in the description to get started risk-free with their 30-day money-back guarantee. That's nordvpn.com/styletheory to start taking control of your internet today. And now, on to the reveal. This is our Emma Chamberlain look, and I'm gonna just tell you right now, I feel like a mom. Whenever I wear jeans, I think I feel like a mom. I have gold hoops also, which makes me feel like I just look older, and I don't know if it's just me and my association, because I know like a lot of young people really like gold hoops. It's just not how I accessorize, and so I associate it with like my mom. I pulled this outfit from Emma's MVP, and no, I don't think that she is giving mom vibes. She and the outfit look effortlessly cool. Unlike me. I did like the hair though. It means I don't have to wash my hair. I get to just throw it up and it's considered cute. But I think I know what was killing the cool aura. Honestly, I think the red sweater is doing this a disservice. The shirt underneath here is really cool. Let me show you it without the red sweater, because again, without the red sweater, I really like this all together. So here you go. Without the red sweater, I like this better. It's just a basic top, some jeans, and it looks chic, right? This feels more like what I would think Emma would wear, but even though it was giving chic, I wasn't feeling it. Emma is just kind of cool as a person, and so she makes basic stuff look cooler, where I feel like basic stuff just makes me feel basic. But we're gonna go about our day as Emma and see what people think. But it's really hot outside, so I'm not gonna lie, if it gets a little too hot in that sweater, I'm taking it off. Spoiler alert, I did take it off. And like Demi Lovato says, sorry, not sorry. And so I went out into the real world on a very exciting trip to Walgreens. It's allergy season, y'all. But as I was wandering the aisles in search of the allergy medicine, something clicked in me. I was starting to understand the appeal of this basic but timeless kind of look. I felt cute, I felt posh and put together, even if it did feel a little unnatural. For me, it's just like I feel like I'm trying hard. And I don't think that that's necessarily what Emma's doing. I feel like Emma comes across very effortless, very of her own design. And that is my goal here, to see if I can learn the fashion tricks of the legends like Emma. So why was it feeling so unnatural to me? I liked the shirts, the jeans were fine for jeans, and I loved the shoes. So what was I missing? We're gonna finish up our Emma Chamberlain day in the kitchen.
Should I double it?
Caffeinated ice.
Double it and give it to the next mermaid?
That's
Maybe?
what Emma Chamberlain does. My preferred iced caffeinated beverage, as we talk about this, and that is a chai. What do I feel about this outfit? It's giving a personality that I'm not, And I don't think it's not fashionable. The actual outfit, I feel like you would see people wearing, but it's not necessarily flattering to me. Like, it draws a lot of attention here, which I don't prefer. Feels like a color scheme that's not quite me. Again, if I did this with maybe a black pant, maybe I would feel different. So, where does Emma rank on our style theory drip-o-meter? The outfit was super cute, minus the sweater. Emma really knows how to pair and layer basics to make interesting and cool looks. But it didn't transfer. Wearing this outfit didn't suddenly make me cool. I'm gonna have to give the Chamberlain style a rating of Babbling Brook on our patent-pending drip-o-meter. But there's still plenty of outfits left to try on. And this next one might just be the biggest style challenge of my life. Hey guys, it's me Ryan and I'm checking out 1-star bedrooms. This one is the worst. Cat bed doesn't even have a cat.
Too long. Too long. I think the YouTube algorithm changed, and that's why my channel's getting pushed to people. Because usually nobody wanders in on me sewing a skirt on a teddy bear mermaid. It's not exactly thrilling content.
More chicken, that is. Served in habanero, barbecue crispy chicken, and cilantro lime. Mealtime differently with Tim's Loaded Bowls, now with more seasoned chicken.
It's just me, guys. Sorry about that. I was tricking you, and I feel really bad about it, but all for the bit, you know. Anyway, today we are Ryan Trahan. Yes, Ryan Trahan, the king of 1-star reviews, who travels the world on pennies and created a healthy and vegetarian-friendly candy brand. I know. None of that is fashion related, but hear me out. Ryan has one of the most iconic looks here on YouTube, even when he's not rocking his signature curls.
I am no longer Ryan Trahan. My new name for this challenge, Ryan Mayhem, my alter ego.
A few moments later.
Any prize? Oh, no, my name's Ryan Mayhem.
See? Iconic. So why did I choose this specific fit? What I'm seeing is a lot of solid color basic tees or white basic tees, and they're always paired with either jean shorts or basketball shorts. Yeah, not gonna lie, this one seems pretty cut and dry. Or should I say, dripping. This is a surprisingly similar vibe to the Emma outfit that we just wore. Basic top, basic pants, and sneakers. What I'm learning is I'm not a basic lady because this is so beyond what I would normally wear. And yes, I even tried to style my hair like his. I mean, us curly girls have to stick together. Speaking of, this is my call to action for Ryan Trahan. Please let me help your curls. You want the penny challenge? How about the curl challenge, bro? Please, as your resident internet big sister, let me help your curls. Think of it as a repayment for your style, helping me find my own signature look. So today, we're attempting the Ryan Trahan challenge, where we live one day as Ryan Trahan. And you know how we have to start a Ryan Trahan day? It's a very special time. It's coffee time. Hot. Alright, I gotta go to work. After some epic meetings and trying to figure out if I was loving or hating this new persona I was developing with this look, am I part of Rat King Summer? Yeah, this is what I do for work. It was time to check in. Alright guys, update. This is a comfy enough outfit. It's not like a flattering outfit for me. It doesn't have shape. It doesn't highlight the areas I like, minus like maybe the shoulders. It doesn't. This hair. Okay, give me 1 second.
What just happened?
I guess Ryan Trahan never has to do anything with his hands. But it's not like a fashion-forward outfit. And when I think about like what's fashionable for guys, this feels casual. Ryan Trahan's point in every video is not to be, you know, a style inspiration. It's to be relatable. And I feel like this is a very relatable outfit. I do have one other thing to say about Ryan Trahan and his full fashion sense. But to do that, we need to have one more special time today.
Come on, you
It's jammy
motherfucker.
time. What is more Ryan Trahan than his matching sets of pajamas? I have these already because I too am a fan of feeling fancy when I go to bed sometimes. Listen, based on the fit alone, I was going to give Ryan a leaky faucet rating. Harsh, I know, but no shade. Being a legend doesn't mean you have to also be a style icon. However, for jammy time alone, I'm going to bump him up to a spring drizzle. I feel like we have a kinship, you know? I will not be taking questions. Hello friends and welcome to another video. I know, Amy, I thought you were dressing up as other people this week. Well, funny you should say that because I am. Listen, we were going 0 for 2 in finding outfits that could help me find my signature style. And I think I know why. I've been choosing legendary creators so far outside of my comfort zone that by the time I put the outfit on, I feel a little bit more like an alien inside a human costume than Amy in an outfit. And so I think I need to try someone a little bit more inside my wheelhouse. Despite the fact that this looks like something I wear every single day, this is Sophia Nygaard, the queen of lifestyle here on YouTube. Known for reviewing unusual fashion items, mixing together every lipstick, candle, and soap, and of course, wearing black. Yeah, go ahead and leave your office meetings and your same girl, different font in the comments.
Oh, yeah.
You know that styles overlap.
Oopsie.
Which you all
So she got a little la 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 going on. Mom thinks I should add something like the strap around so it looks more like a bra rather than just nipple covers. Don't know.
I didn't have to do a ton of research. Sophia is, of course, a legend here on YouTube where she wears more wild and crazy outfits. Her basic
Can't really see it though because the fur is so thick.
dark-toned outfits and, you know, bags. Now, this is one of my favorite dresses, and it actually came in second place as almost being my cutout dress. Yes, you could have seen this dress every single week. Yes,
Kind of like sparkly, but like I said, the fur is so thick it just disappears. I don't think I'm going to be able to do that with any amount of success. Like this is a lot thicker, but it's also, I only get this much of it. Alright, this is still bothering me though.
Things like combat boots or floor boots. What can I say? I love a boot, and these are our
Not this bigger, but this is also smaller, so this is going to have to be restrung.
This exact photo with items already in my wardrobe. And it meant that spending a day in this outfit was easy. Though I could have done without one. Sorry, Costco. The internet doesn't need more of my feet. And they weren't very comfortable. Sophia and I were part of the same duology. So this really feels good to me. I just don't know if I would say it's fashionable, but then again, I don't necessarily say that I'm fashionable. I think I like clothes and I think I like dressing up, but other people like have opinions on what I wear. I don't have a ton of opinions on what I wear in a sense of fashion. The other ones have really pushed me out of my comfort zone. This is a return to form. I definitely think there is a good fashion element to it, but doesn't make her the most fashionable YouTuber just because I like it.
Okay, so there's some more of these white beads. Bigger purple ones. I mean, it's not a bunch. Fuck it, just add them. Stop overthinking it. Oh shit, did I get rid of that thing? Oh, I finally have a use for that thing and I got rid of it. Fuck. I mean, I've had it for like 8 years, so it had to have happened at some point.
Even more that I don't have a signature style. That I just copy every witty woman and gothy girly that's come before me. And so for day 4, we have to mix it up. No more basics, no more comfort zone. It's time for the legend, the Pokemon, who not only is the biggest
There's a big bead.
out there, she's
Let's go for those.
that I should point out is very different.
It might be Bakelite. I'm not completely sure. No, there's no pink on here. I'm not adding another color. I'm very happy to have those colors though, even if they don't match. Okay. Where's that thing? Oh my god, I have that thing! This is the thing. Currently occupied by those things. That's okay. I can put those things in this thing. I have a bucket. Ah, shit. I can't exactly stand here.
Wait, I can sundress.
Shut up, I'm busy.
For high tea. This is probably the fanciest outfit we've worn so far. It's not necessarily what I would
There.
wear every day. I like it. It's cute. I feel
I should pay more attention to what the fuck I'm
The
doing.
only white ignore the back of the heel. That's kind of dirty.
There.
I have
Be real, Crystal. I'm gonna go over here. Up on the shelf for now until I find a place to put them. Alright.
I used to hate floral patterns. I feel like it was the trauma of like school pictures circa 2nd and 3rd grade that made me hate floral. Don't worry, we've settled that piece mostly, but the dress did have some features that I really liked. I love this corset detailing. It makes me feel really snatched, but it's not constrictive, so I don't feel like I'm actually uncomfortable. This is a fancy nightie, but I actually do like that part of it. The rouge detailing up here, I'm not entirely sure about. I saw it in a ton of Pokimane sundresses, so that's what I went for, but I don't know if it's the most flattering on me. It's a very popular style right now. It leans into that
Yeah, stupid!
have some prairie aesthetic that I've seen all over. Okay. It grows on me today. But for now, I have to do like Pokimane.
Just something a little bit
On my
more.
computer for hours so that I can pay my bills. So I did have to throw on an unthinking cardigan, but don't at me. Your girl just gets cold. But by the end of the day, I think I was starting to understand the
Small,
appeal.
big.
It's a sunny
I
day.
got one of these. Small, big.
Well, look at that.
And one
The
of
sun
these.
did come out. And so we're ending our day dressed as Pokimane with a nice little beautiful
Small, big.
sky.
One
I
of
want to show you
these.
how swishy it is.
No, that's wrong.
It's so swishy, and I really like the feel of it. I love easy
Yeah, that
dresses
goes
to wear.
here.
It's just the white keeps taking me by surprise. I keep jump scaring myself with how bright this dress is. I would probably pick a different dress for me, but I was trying to match her general look and vibe, and I think we succeeded. Is this the most fashionable? I don't know. I think it's the most
Well, that
fashion
works.
smart that we've seen because it's throwing on a dress and it makes people think that you tried really hard. When in
Never
fact,
used this thing
you
before.
just
You
did the
couldn't
easy
tell.
thing and bought a cute dress that looks like you did
One
a
here,
lot of work.
small,
And I
big,
think that's
small,
insanely smart. In all
one
honesty,
here.
that's probably the best fashion
Everything's
advice
off.
I've seen this episode.
Big, small,
To buy
big,
items that are
small.
extremely
Big,
comfortable for you to
big,
wear
small,
and
big,
make
small,
people
small, big,
think
small.
that you
Yeah,
spent a lot
seems
of
to be
money
working.
and time putting them
Small,
together. In
big,
actuality, you're just wearing
small.
some very fancy pajamas. It's gym time all the time, baby. And that means
That
that
one.
I'm gonna put
1, 2,
Pokemon
3.
at the
1, 2,
Raging River
3.
tier of our Dripometer. While this isn't going to be my signature look, it did show me qualities that I want my look to have. Comfortable,
My
cute,
God.
and easy to wear. So is she the most fashionable?
1, 2,
I don't
3.
know.
Yeah,
Is she
close
the
enough.
most brilliant among us?
There we go.
She just might be. However, we still have one more look
Sit.
to go.
Sit. Come back here.
We can make our
Small,
final
big,
call on who
small.
is the
Fucker.
most fashionable YouTuber
One of
out
these.
there. Hi, I'm Anthony Padilla, and today
Okay.
I'm spending
Small,
one day dressed as
Big,
myself.
small. This guy.
Anthony has gone through both a content and a fashion evolution since starting YouTube.
Oh yeah, they haven't even added these yet.
Interviewer and then back
Gonna have to
again.
go to full
He's
length,
gone
I
from
think.
a classic teenage boy aesthetic, albeit with an emo swoop, to a kind of fashion bad boy renaissance era that he's in right now. There's a lot of
One
layered
there,
jewelry, a lot of
one there.
basic tees, jackets, and dark jeans.
One there.
He's
One
an
there.
edgy James Dean. I couldn't do his
fuck it.
tattoos because unfortunately my
Another
ink
humper,
and
goddamn
markers
little
did not
bitch.
work, and so
Everything's
what we
fine.
can do with my own tattoos, but we're paying
this one.
nods to all of the Padilla-isms everywhere else. We have a lovely faux leather jacket. We have some ripped jeans. We have as many rings.
So cute. Absolutely not. Do I care? Fuck it. Where's that stupid sharp needle I just had?
On to the classic Pokemon video that made Anthony and Ian big in the first place. Now, I actually really like this.
So mini
It's
package.
a little basic, and I think if Anthony actually wore this outfit, it would cost like 5 times more than this outfit probably cost. I am 90%
The
sure.
beading needle, they're super fucking thin.
Sure that is
So
true.
don't step on it.
I respect that.
Now I need
Lady
something.
himself. Anthony made Peter Pascal, name a more iconic trio of and you know what? I was
I wonder if I can even
starting
use this.
to
This
like
might be
outfit
fucking
more
big.
and more as the day
For
went
this,
on.
this is more like for seed needles. Seed beads than
So what I like about
regular.
this is a lot actually. One, I'm a big fan of the like leather jacket look. I really like this one. It's very cute. It's very cozy. I like the basic tank top. I'm a big tank top person, and as someone who gets cold and warm a lot, this is a great vibe for me. The thing that I think Anthony and I have in common is that we both went through that big emo phase. Arguably, neither of us were a little alternative, and while he goes through his
Hello, thread.
wiggle tattoo designs, I go through my
Maybe,
dirty
yeah.
ones, but this is like if I dressed more masked in my
Maybe
everyday
this one?
life, this is probably a lot of how it looks. I happen to be in a very fun era of my life that I've gone through.
That one maybe. I'm looking for my button thread, but I still have a feeling that I've used it all.
They're pajama-esque. Where the jeans from
I think this one's the one. Just trying to find my strongest at this point. I think I've used up all my black, so.
My general mask aesthetic. Together, and I'm the baby of those YouTube giants in my little YouTube playpen that is Style Theory. In fact, it felt like
You're
it
not
was a
strong
mix of all of the outfits that we have tried throughout the entire episode. I can see
Nope,
bits of
you're not strong
Ryan's
enough.
easy, relatable style mixed with Emma's clever layering, Sophia's color palette,
Nope,
and
you're not strong enough.
wear aesthetic. I really like
And
this
you're
outfit.
literally fucking 20, so I guess we're gonna go with this.
I really like it. I like the chill nature of it, but I still feel cute and it feels very me.
don't know if
And
I
I
can
feel
thread you
like
on
it's a
anything.
mix of it being more my aesthetic and feeling a little bit closer to the kind of fashion risks and exploration that I like doing. So I
not gonna thread
does that mean
our-
that Anthony is the most
It is a fatter
Surprisingly, I think the
hole,
answer
so
is
maybe we
yes.
can get away with a regular
All the
needle.
outfits I tried this week, from the old school legends like Sophia and Pokimane to the new era of legends like Emma and Ryan, it was Anthony's that felt like it was the boldest departure from my normal routine, without feeling too far from stuff I would actually wear. And that's why I have to rank Anthony's drip at the tsunami tier of our Dripometer, and give him the title of Best YouTuber Fashion, at least for this episode. But did it help me find my signature style?
Yes,
Well, yes, but it wasn't just Anthony. All of the looks that we saw today helped me realize something. A signature look isn't something you can just
Okay.
form. It's something
Now I
that
actually have to
develops
pay
out of your
attention.
personality and your natural style. And this episode helped me realize that I do actually have a signature look. And it's this. Yeah, this dress, this one right here, is a perfect representation of my signature style. Not only is it the one that all of you use in fan art, it's what I chose to wear for my cutout. And it represents my personal taste in fashion. It's comfortable, it mixes textures and cutouts. And of course, it's black. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Did you hear? We are coming back with Creators in Fashion 2.0. Yes, we are bringing back our creator-led fashion show October 9th live at this summit. It will be me, Matt, Team Fierce, and a whole bunch of other amazing creators. So, mark your calendars for October 9th at 4 p.m. Pacific. And
It's not the end of the world if they're off a little bit.
On Style Theory.
It's a necklace for a giant mermaid teddy bear.
So I've been working with Oreo on my new signature cookie, and I wanted to give it a little personal touch. I made a mistake. Try my chocolate and cinnamon cream Oreo cookies.
Okay, 1, 2, 3, shiny 1.
And totally
1, 2, 3, shiny 1.
Get salon smooth results.
And then we just go big and small.
Take a look at your hands. You ever wondered what it'd be like to wear 10 layers of nail polish?
Nope.
100? What about 1,000? Well, you don't have to wonder anymore because I did it. I wore 1,000 layers of nail polish for 24 hours, and spoiler alert, it was one of the most frustrating experiences.
Let's see if this will
of my
work.
life. Hello, Internet, welcome to Style Theory, the show that nails it.
Like I should not this.
Speaking of episodes, if you missed it, I made a big announcement over on Game
This one
Theory this
here.
week that you should probably go watch and check out after you're finished with this episode. It is a doozy, and it's very important for the future of this channel. Trust me, it's going to be a fun ride.
There we
I'm
go.
going to leave a link in the end card to make it easy for you. Good luck not crying during the last 5 minutes, friends. Anyway, let's get back to the topic at hand, shall we? Nail polish. When it comes to nail polish, I've always been a bit of a newbie, but secretly I've always
Come
been
on,
jealous of
please
those who
work.
get to dip their toes and fingers in the polish game. So in honor of New Year, New there's no better time to crack open a bottle and become the nail-fluencer of my dreams. But of course, because of the special way in which I'm broken, I can't just settle for painting my nails like a normal person. I need to go deeper. I need to show another layer of the story. That's when it hit me. You might recall back in 2016 when the channel Simply Nailogical, aka Christine, did a challenge on her channel painting over 100 layers of nail polish, which took her
Mother
over
humper.
12 hours of constant painting. The results were as beautiful as they were terrifying.
Mother goddamn bastard. It's okay. I got it.
You can realistically wear. She even tried her hands, both literally and figuratively, at a 1,000-layer challenge, but was so horrified by the Freddy Krueger nightmare that she created, she kept the whole thing a secret from her audience for over 6 years. But you know what? If I'm going to take my own journey to Polish Mountain, I'm going to need to find a way to take this and make it even more extreme. I need to do something that not even Christine was able to do before. I need to take this monstrous creation out into the world to see if this trend can hold up to the labors of real life. And I'm going to do it with both hands. That being said, if I'm actually going to be able to do this, I'm going to need some help. So I asked 2 members of Team Theorist, Josiah and Rachel, to give me a hand. Or rather, I gave them each of my hands. Their job? Get paid to spend the day painting my nails until we reach 1,000 layers of polish. Then I'll rock my new Manny as I go about my normal day. I'll take meetings, I'll eat, I'll use the facilities, and to just add a little bit to the drama, we're gonna make it a competition. Josiah versus Rachel. Analytics versus HR. We're gonna be grading their work based on 3 criteria: beauty, livability, and durability. And at the end of the day, we're gonna be crowning one of them Theorist's king or queen of Polish Mountain. Place your bets now, loyal theorists, because as the team settled in for the long days of painting, I immediately realized that I might have made a mistake in my choice of nail technicians.
I was gonna say, Josiah, how did you get roped into this?
Everybody was coming to me like, oh, Dad, and of course, I was like, yeah, I can do that for sure.
Who started a rumor that you could paint nails?
I don't.
I mean, your fingers are very nicely
Well,
manicured.
thank you. I take pride in that.
How many layers of nail polish have you done in the past?
Under 2.
All right, well, get ready, because we got 199 more to go. How many Rachel, what's your nail polish experience?
I have done more than 2
Okay.
layers. I'm a nail biter, so
Yeah.
I always got fake nails.
Fantastic. So on one hand, I have somebody who only uses fake nails, and on the other hand, I have Josiah, who lied his way into the salon chair. Already, this was turning out to be a lot more of a challenge than I anticipated. But with my questionable draft picks aside, it was time to get to painting. Lucky for me, the shoot day actually lined up with the longest meeting of the week, a FNAF catch-up with everyone's favorite Brit, Game Theory creative director Tom.
Welcome to the morning meeting, though I do want to let you know that I'm
Big,
joined on this call today
short.
with Rachel and Josiah. They're going to be painting my nails.
Despite the initial surprise, Tom was a really good sport about the 2 meeting crashers, and we finally got to the good stuff, the painting. Right off the bat, it became clear that our 2 competitors were going to be moving at
1,
2
2,
very
3,
different
4.
pieces.
1,
You see, Josiah,
2.
he's a very meticulous at the cost of speed. Meanwhile, Rachel, she's a speed demon. Her normal job around the office requires her to focus on efficiency over artistry. She can't be spending all day writing a soliloquy for one email when she might have hundreds more piling up in her
Yes.
inbox. So from the word go, Rachel took off at a lightning pace.
That one.
I watched in real time as Josiah was left in the dust. Finishing his first perfectly painted nail as Rachel sped past it.
I love that Rachel's already on nail 3 and Josiah just right.
He's trying so hard. But never one to back down from a challenge. Josiah had some wise words to share with the class.
Have you guys ever heard the story of the tortoise and the hare?
No, tell me how it goes, Josiah.
And tell
He's fasting. The tortoise just takes his time.
Yeah.
He focuses on all the little steps. And he gets to the finish line and he's full of the hare.
I'll spare you the rest. But the analogy fits our challengers pretty darn well. We have the tortoise Josiah, slowly and carefully making sure each layer of polish is perfect, and then we have Rachel, the hare, moving at full speed to reach the 1,000-layer goal quickly. I guess we're gonna have to wait until the end of the episode when we tally up the scores to find out which method proves to be the best. But in the meantime, let me know down in the comments, are you Team Tortoise or Team Hare? Go Josiah or Rah Rah Rachel? So with our literature lesson out of the way, I was finally able to get to the task at hand, solving the lore more of Glamrock Bonnie while being glammed up myself. Except there may have been one other small, tiny detail that I might have underestimated. Time. In the original challenge, Christine was able to get to 100 layers as fast as
Small,
possible.
big,
She
small.
didn't need to worry about building a solid structure that
Alright,
would
too
last
small.
all day, meaning she wasn't sitting around waiting for the polish to fully dry in between coats. And even then, it still took her over 8 hours to get through 100
And I'm missing a little one.
Based on the clips from her
Probably on the
video,
floor.
her attempts at 1,000 layers looked like they took her days.
Okay.
Note to self, my confidence might been a little bit over.
Alright, are you long enough to fit?
I'm planning on wearing these babies out. I need to make sure that the nails are structurally sound in order to get through our
Just
entire day of testing. That means
let it
waiting
go.
for dry
Call it a
time
day.
each coat of polish. How long is that, you might ask? Well, for our experiment, we ended up using Sally Henson's Instant Dry Polish because, according to the packaging,
There.
it takes about 60 seconds to fully dry. On average, our hair, Rachel, she was able to paint a layer of polish on each of the 5 fingers in 30 seconds, taking her full paint and dry time for one layer a minute and a half. On its own, that's a really fast process. So once you start multiplying that by the goal of 1,000 layers, suddenly we're talking about 25 hours of solid painting. We're pausing for eating, sleeping, or using the bathroom. And that's just talking about our fast competitor. We'd all be dead in our graves by the time Tortoise Josiah got even halfway up his mountain. This was turning out to be a disaster, so we were left with 2 options. Either call it quits on the episode or come up with a new solution. And we here at Team Theorist, we never know when to quit. So we decided to divide and conquer. Josiah and
I really hope I have a job next
new way to
month.
make an episode possible. Me, I was busy trying to figure out the answer.
I'll just type under Knots Color tonight. There we go.
Why does it take so long for nail polish to dry? Now I realized that I just assumed I knew how nail polish worked. At least at the
There we
base
go.
coat level. Paint was on nail, paint dries, apply more paint. But boy, oh boy, was I wrong. Broadly speaking, your typical nail polish contains 7
Maker.
different kinds of ingredients. There's a resin that's made to
This is the
ensure that
first
polish
time I've used this thing.
then there are the pigments, which mix together to get the nail polish its unique color. But the main ingredient is actually a film-forming polymer used in nitrocellulose. These sorts of polymers are long chains of smaller molecules that combine to form films that you see sitting on top of your nails. It starts out in that liquid-like state, but the nail polish becomes that soft fiber.
Alright, are you done?
Solid film on top of the nail. Even a drying though, that still doesn't explain the big question of why it takes nails so long to dry.
There.
It comes down to more ingredients.
What do you think?
If you've seen our
A
episode,
pretty little necklace?
we already know what a solid
Some sunflower tasties? Tasties, tassies, fuck it. Close enough. There.
Once applied, the solvent evaporates.
Gonna need a little bit of glue for that.
And it's that evaporation.
Make sure the sunflowers don't come off. And she's done. Finally. Ooh, I have fabric glue. Nice.
But while
That's
nail
very
polish
nice.
might smell terrible, what's going to make
did.
it smell a whole lot better? The sponsor for today's episode, Scentbird. Here's a
There
little
we go.
behind the scenes for you. When you spend a week locked in an office with 2 people racing the starts to see clothing and clinging to your skin. It followed me everywhere for days after this shoot, even after trying to wash it off in the shower. So when Scentbird reached out wanting to sponsor us again, my response was yes. Please, oh please. Let me tell you, they delivered. Now, I thought
There.
my Scentbird subscription is leveled up my personal scent game. Just
Alright.
$7 is the most affordable way to dip your
Voila.
toes into the world of designer fragrances. With over 600 scents
What do you
to choose
think?
from, try a brand new fragrance each month. Find your signature
She'll
scent.
answer.
And since each one comes with a full 30
One's
days supply,
done.
you really get to take each scent for a test drive before committing to the full bottle. This month, Scentbird sent me 3 scents to try. The first one was Tuesday Date Night by Don, a woodsy scent that mixes top notes of cardamom and iris. I was told by people around the office that it smelled of hot date. I didn't really just...
Tell me the same thing I want with this guy. A dinosaur mermaid.
Really disagree on that one. Sandalwood Temple by Sana Jardin felt like a sister scent to that one, with lighter scents of vanilla and orange. However, her last one was by far my favorite. Eros Flame by Versace. The mix of pepper, lemon, and cedar had me walking around the office with the confidence of a Greek god. But not only are you getting to test out a whole lot of great stuff at a cheap price, Scentbird is actually giving you style theorists 55% off your first month. That means that you're getting a designer fragrance for just over $7. That right there, that is a steal. All you need to do is go to Scentbird.com and use the code STYLE55 at checkout. That's code STYLE55 at checkout.
Legs are not needed when you're a mermaid.
Thanks again to Scentbird for sponsoring this episode. Now back to my office that leaks nail polish. Which brings us back to the problem at hand and the one dry time. If you look online for advice about how to speed up the nail drying process, you'll find a wide host of drying methods, ranging from the
Back in the basket.
Really going through each of these could be an episode all its own, but it turns out that the fastest way to dry your nail polish is actually the simplest: layer size. By painting each layer as thinly as possible, you maximize the solvent's ability to evaporate. Putting polish on thick with extra C's prevents the solvent deep within the giant glob of nail polish from being able to escape and dry the nail.
Where's
But
the
our
measuring
boys
tape?
here end up being able to figure that one out. It's been a week since I sent them scurrying off to take the episode, so let's see what solutions they found.
We're back 1 week later. What did you guys come up with?
Wow. Are you ready for this?
Elbow length glove.
33.
Hold up. So you're saying that the solution to the problem was flesh gloves?
Yeah.
Yep, flesh gloves. Flesh gloves. They
Right.
got their inspiration from none other than OG herself, Christine. As we see in the
Oh,
clips of her most
32.
video, Christine decided to paint on Edward, her trusty mannequin hand, in order to paint over the course of several days. Genius, but
Alright.
for our purposes, we couldn't be wearing a mannequin hand. So Josiah and Rachel found the next best thing.
Now, need to cut me a base first.
Oh, did I not mention the fact that all of this made down these
What a fucking mess.
for the sake of your entertainment kept
This
on
is like
the
random
birthday?
legs.
Ah, that's a memorable one. Anyway, all they had to do was
Random legs.
acrylic nails on Jesus and boom, worked a nail painting setup worthy of 1,000 layers of polish. You think you could just
You think they're all like
Yeah.
200 layers?
Papers over here. Still haven't finished those things, because why would I? Alright, there you go.
Look at that. Turns out Aesop's fable repeats itself again. A resident porter
Had to cut me a new, get me a new sheet of fabric. For my sheet of fabric sheet. That's made of fabric. I should really iron these, but I'm not going to.
Josiah and Rachel did paint a full set of hands, meaning that we can only wear 2 hands at a time. We technically reached 2,000 layers in total across all the hands. That right there, that deserves a big old round of applause.
Good.
Serving in all the worst nightmare fuel stored away. Speaking of those nightmare hands, let's reveal what we got.
So disturbing for so many reasons. I mean, this is the most funny example, Rachel. When did you know things were going wrong?
Not as soon as you think.
There's still hope for a while. They're a lot more, bendable and flexible than I expected.
Nail polish, you dumbfounded me yet again. Because there is actually a good reason for the nails to feel squishy. You see, as we mentioned earlier, once the solvent dries, what's left in your nail is that solid polymer film that's incredibly brittle. In order to prevent that nail from sticking immediately, polish manufacturers add ingredients collectively known as plasticizers. Their job is to make the nail more flexible, so it can withstand the regular wear and tear of daily life. Now, of course, when you add over 100 layers of polish to your fingernails, all those plasticizers, they're going to end up making your nail feel like a giant wad of paint. You don't have to take my word for it either. You can see it for yourself the next time you put on nail polish. Wait a couple days, feel the thing that held up Rachel's nails.
So I had a little mistake. I had it blown on, so sometimes it's fake. I would do all 5.
You're not going to see the pink, though, unfortunately.
Rachel, that top layer to see if it was dry, would think that it was safe to move on. When in reality, the inner part of the coat was still wet. But that's only one of our challengers. Let's compare Rachel's creation with hand number 2, made by the tortoise himself, Josiah.
Tortoise, you have to show for yourself. Oh my god, that's great. Beautiful layers.
Josiah's solid layers came from using 1 bottle of polish rotating colors in every single coat.
Here, you wretched thing.
As we saw last week, I was a lot slow.
Yeah, Josiah didn't have any secret trick up his sleeve. He just took his time. Any good sport should. And in terms of nail drying, this was proof that the true key to drying was patience. But I have to commend both of our contestants for being good sports about the whole thing. And now finally we get to the best part, the part where I get to strap on these gloves and put these puppies to the test. After several failed attempts to get these weird, fleshy gloves on, it's time to see what the office had to say. As I mentioned at the top of this episode, we're going to decide the ultimate winner for this Clash of the Nails by judging the tortoise and the hare across 3 separate categories: beauty, livability, and durability. Since the last 2 categories will kind of reveal themselves as the day goes on, let's just start with beauty. Well, my first reactions were not the most flattering to one set of nails. That's just my opinion. I decided to take a tour around the office to ask everyone what they thought of the aesthetic of both sets of nails, and then rate them on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being beautiful, 1 being nightmare fuel. Let's just start off with our resident Michigan
Just
grandma,
trying to keep
Sam.
the line
He's the
straight.
perfect person to ask for an
The
unbiased
pattern
opinion
straight.
because he has no filter.
I'm looking for your opinion because
This scale doesn't need to go up to 5. This person tried. I would say this is a 2 and that's a 1.
See what I mean? If you ever need someone to tell you like it truly is, get yourself a Sam. So that's an early lead for Team Tortoise and Josiah, but now it's time to move over to Style Theory creative director Amy, who was working behind the scenes to help set up this entire episode. Here's her first reaction to seeing the nails in the flesh, or I suppose latex.
Hey, Amy, I know you had a hand to play in this. Okay?
Oh,
What do you think?
I think I might have found my new sleep paralysis demon. Honestly, I have to give at least a 1.
1 is the lowest.
I actually hate that.
Amy was so confused by Rachel's handiwork that she could barely articulate the rating of 1. What did you think of Josiah, though?
Salvador Dali was a nail artist. This is what they would be. I give it a solid 3.
Shocking. Salvador Dali beats sleep paralysis even. Score 1 for the melting blocks. But of all the opinions around the office, none matters more to me than the opinion of my loved one, my partner in crime, Stephanie.
Hey, Stephanie. So, Stephanie, you might have noticed that I've done something a little bit different.
Wow, this is new year, new you.
We're getting on the new year, new you trend a little bit early.
Okay, well, I meant like it's your birthday. Is that canon to whatever we're shooting?
That is canon, actually. The art film is canon. Literally on my birthday. These are my birthday nails, actually. So I'm going around the office and asking people to rate my nails on a scale of 1 to 5. 5 being, wow, they're so beautiful, I want them for myself.
Wait, 5 isn't nail
Ha ha ha
I
ha.
don't feel like 1 to 5 really encapsulates the feelings of these nails. Like there should be some other scale from the deeply negative numbers to almost break even. If I have to give like an actual numerical score, I would give these like a 0.5, and then these I
could have just folded it over like I did with the giant squid. But I didn't.
3.5. Wow. Checking in on our scores for this round, it's clear that Team Tortoise walks away with a big W. In other words, Josiah moves ahead in the race to conquer Polish Mountain with a total score of 2 zip. But this story has itself a silver lining. Well, most of the office did have a negative reaction to my
It
nails.
doesn't really matter if it's over there, because it's just going to be flat anyway. Alright, pin and sew.
But there's no time for messing around here, Skip. We got 2 more categories to judge. Next up, livability. I'm gonna go about my normal day to see how much these nails are hampering my ability to function as a normal human being. First up, using my phone.
It feels like I'm tapping 3 different sections of my phone at one time, but my phone's smart enough to recognize that, so that's good. But you can see here that my thumbs are being blocked. Wow. Nope, that was supposed to be W. Wow. Nope. Wow, Sam. Maybe autocorrect was built for people with really long nails. Will. Nope.
5 minutes later.
Play this soon. That's with autocorrect and everything. Nails when it comes to typing on a phone, not solid, but also I don't think that's impacted by the 1,000 layers of nail polish, right? I think that's just like a byproduct of having a long nails.
Also, if you're wondering if typing my emails up on my computer was any easier, yeah, no. After spending an unholy amount of time trying to type one single sentence, I needed to take a break at the facilities. And I'm not really sure who this one was more awkward for. Me or the film crew made up of our employees waiting on the other side of the door.
Must be Dane or something.
I deleted Garrett.
Fucking whore.
I'll say that it poked in places that I didn't expect it to poke, and I was very concerned about the hefty size of the nails. scooping up some toilet water as I was going in for the old wife. That's TMI, but it's true. Welcome to the channel.
I don't think I need to say this out loud, but let's just say that I very much appreciated the smoothness of Rachel's nails over the stabbiness of Josiah's. I'm trying to use a fun Kruger on there. I did manage to wash my hands without too much difficulty, thankfully though, in preparation for my next task. A task which you might recognize if you happen to be a regular viewer on the channel. The film of this episode actually overlapped with the shoot that we were doing for our best toothbrush episode. Go check them out if you haven't already, because it is going to be incredibly useful in your day life. Anyway, it meant that I got to brush my teeth using these ridiculous talents. Though, much like washing my hands, it wasn't that bad. Until, of course, I had to check my results.
This is like reaching my mouth. It's reaching so far back into my throat. This is terrifying. Can't see my results. I might have to ask someone else to reach their hands in my mouth so I can see my results.
Go figure, no one on the crew volunteered to help their dear old boss examine his face hole. These days. But just to add insult to the awkward of this day, I had a doctor's appointment. And all of a sudden I had to explain why I was...
Rhinoceros. Fuck. Triceratops teddy bear plushie into a giant, mermaid teddy bear plushie triceratops. Very scientific. I upcycle and I recycle stuffies into stuffies. Sorry, you're probably not there anymore, but thank you for asking. Try to fuck the teeth are moving, but I don't feel like it today.
Having these nails on all day was surprisingly exhausting. Not only was I bouncing around doing stuff all day, but my brain was working overtime. I was constantly thinking
I need to pull this one. Actually, don't do the other one.
it dawned on me that people who wear issues that I was experiencing, but it's not issues. Why? Why would you do that? It's annoying. It makes life so much harder. So
How much
Yeah, so there's a reason why I don't have long nails regularly. A lot of our team doesn't have long nails. Anytime you have to use your hands a lot,
I should sit here and actually make a quilt one night.
applying no matter those who have to maintain beautiful long nails all the time. The struggle is
right? This
or just realizing how difficult it is but I still managed to lose 2 nails in the process. Now imagine that I had to do something that was actually physically demanding, like mowing the lawn or doing a lot of child care. Why would anyone have to put on nails this long if it meant you couldn't accomplish basic physical tasks? Well, that right there is actually the whole point. Long nails weren't meant to be practical, they were meant to be a status symbol. Back in ancient China, fingernails held a huge significance in the culture, especially among the upper class. Not only were they the first reported inventors of nail polish, but long nails held such value in their society that they created elaborate nail guards, often made of precious metals and adorned with gems to help keep their long nails from breaking. Both men and women can be seen sporting the long nail look. While long nails meant that you were wealthy, that you didn't need to do manual labor. It signified that you weren't of the common folk. Over the years, as resources became more readily available and more people had access to things like fake nails, this trend took to the masses, but never lost that luxurious association. But you know what? All this talk of labor reminded me that my workday wasn't done yet. We still had to crown a king or queen of Polished Mountain. But that's kind of a little surprise plan for our epic finale.
Anyway, lunch is over. It's time to start your surprise. Ready, guys? Come on in. Hi, we're back.
considering I hadn't declared a winner yet, they might have actually just been bribes.
Josiah looks like he's constantly posing for a thumbnail right now.
And I told you to decide the office.
You won't believe what's inside.
Also, opening birthday cards, turns out it's super easy when you have a giant letter opener wrapped on the top of your finger. Rachel, as the bar manager, made sure that all the employees got in on the birthday party.
Okay.
All our loyal employees.
They're like, that's what our
Do-do-do-do-do-do-do.
Jettison off the ship.
But someone was a little antsy because the sentiment aside and get the show on the road.
Not related at all. But there were some final rankings we had to deal with.
Okay, well, I think when it comes to aesthetics, you know, it was a close place, but I did take a survey of everyone in the office, and I do say that this hand, each guy, just by a little bit, it was by like fractional. Yours will live on as a winner in hearts and leg hands of everyone in the company.
I'll take that.
So really, I feel like that's a win.
Yeah, this is what I provide for the company culture.
There we go.
When it came down to livability, tables had turned.
I gotta say, across the board, these were easier. These guys a little bit too long, and so they were, you know, when I'm going to the bathroom, they're poking me in some strange places. This guy, right here, a little bit shorter, a little stubbier. Whereas these guys were
That meant Rachel was finally on the board, 1-2. It all came
yours has transformed a fair bit. A little bit.
I'll take it.
Really? This checks out with about how they work. Because these guys, that was pretty well. I gotta say, this hand, I've only almost lost one finger on this hand. Okay, got it.
So congratulations to Josiah for winning the most ridiculous competition that we've ever done across this channel. But I really did accomplish my goal of better understanding the world of nail polish. I started this journey wanting to attempt to find and sure we took Josiah, but they should probably stick with their day jobs and leave the dreams of becoming nail artists to the professionals.
Here's the thing, though. At the end of the day, the true loser audio coming out of the bathroom as I was doing that. But second at the end of the day, the gift that truly keeps on giving is a slate of employees, not silicone hands covered in nail art. But remember, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp.
Don't forget to check out the special offer from our sponsor of today's episode. 5% off your first month. Right there. Your nose. Excuse me. Maybe that horrible nail polish. See you next episode.
Right there.
Easy to find a cozy place for a reasonable price close to the heart of Julian.
Something's now.
kill someone with a high heel. Hello, Internet! Welcome to Style Theory, where today we're putting the phrase killer heels to the test. We've all heard the phrase killer heels, right? It can mean anything from, whoa, your heels are killer, if they look nice, to, oh my gosh, these heels are literally killing my feet. I wanted to test out today whether they can actually kill. Can killer heels literally kill someone? Seems like a ridiculous question, right? But there's actually plenty of precedent for it. We've all seen movies and television shows where the heroine's suddenly out of options. So what she do? She reaches down and rips the shoe off her foot, and boom! She saves the day with a little help from her heel. In fact, it's such a popular idea that there are self-defense classes that focus purely on using your shoes as weapons.
Today, these women are about to find out high heels aren't just high fashion. Stilettos, platforms, and pumps can make effective weapons if you know how to use them.
And believe it or not, with
There we
the
go.
stiletto, those sharp, tall, pointy heels, yep,
That's the mermaid tail. What do you think?
little knives, which honestly is a pretty darn accurate description. More often than not, inside that little point is a stem of solid steel or alloy. So, is it plausible? Is this all just movie fiction, or is
Here's the stuffing. The worst stuffing I have. Here's the legs. Let's start with the legs.
And right next to this guy right here, my dear friend, the human skull that's going to be bloody and bruised by the time this episode is over. He is going to be smacked upside the head, left, right, and sideways with every shoe that we can find in our closet. But in order to do that, in order to start our experiment off right, I don't have enough heels. So I called in some of my friends to help. Without any further ado, let's give a warm welcome to me alone on set. To Stephanie and Amy, who are going to help me solve this problem today. Woo. Stephanie, I'm sure most of you are familiar with. Amy, meanwhile, you pop in on a couple things at this point, so you should be familiar with her if you watch live or
Yeah, that makes the a little bit more smooth. I don't have any more squishmallows to gut, so I don't think so. I don't see any more. I don't think I have anything upstairs.
Every time!
Everything goes to there.
Every time! Before we get even more off track, it's time to remind you to subscribe to this channel so you don't miss all the crazy experiments we've got coming down the pipeline. Like, how many t-shirts does it take to stop a bullet? I was wondering that question. Then we tested it out, and I have the answer. And you can have the answer too, as long as you subscribe to the channel so you're notified when that video gets uploaded. Did I spell it out? Did you take the time to subscribe? Great! That means it's time to get back to our experiment. The plan was to test out a bunch of shoe styles to see how differently the various heels perform. Each one comes with a different weight and surface area, two variables that matter a lot when it comes to the potential force a shoe is able to deliver to the old noggin. Now, if you've been watching the theory channels for a while, you've probably heard me talk a lot
Mermaid
about
tail.
force is the push or pull exerted on an object as it interacts with another object, and you calculate it by multiplying mass times acceleration. F equals ma, or FMA for short. Honestly, as far as physics equations go, this one is pretty darn easy. The heavier the object is, or the higher
That's
its mass,
much
the
smoother
harder
than
it's
the
going
last
to be to stop
Alright,
it
putting
having
in place for
so
now.
one thing we wanted to test out was whether a weightier shoe was better able to deliver skull-crushing damage. The other key difference was the surface area. Obviously, flat shoes are going to have a larger area of impact than a sharp, pointed heel, which means that any force they're hitting the skull with is being spread out, as opposed to hitting it at a small focused point. But how much of a difference are we talking about here? Is that really going to be the maker or breaker of death itself?
It's not gonna matter.
We'll have to find out. In total, we plan to test out 5 different types of shoes, all of which were plucked directly out of Amy's closet. We thank her and pay her for her sacrifice. We wanted to run the gamut of footwear, so our shoe shelf included a pair of sandals, more for the emotional damage of getting hit with a sandal than the physical damage, then some sneakers, a pair of wedges, by far our heaviest shoes today, a chunky heel, and finally, the stilettos. Before busting out the ballistic dummy, we wanted to see what level of forces we were actually working with here. According to a study by Salco and Knight, a skull can fracture under a mere 73 newtons, which is kind of crazy. Fracture won't necessarily kill you. Another study from Japan estimated that you'd need about 5,400 newtons to do a full-on Game of Thrones skull crush. That right there is a big range of numbers, which is honestly why we're just going to test it for ourselves. For that, we sent Jason out to get a handy-dandy force meter to see exactly how much force we're exerting with each of these shoes. The plan was for each of us to take 3 swings to get some average force readings from 3 individuals with different sizes and arm strengths. But let's just say there was a bit of a learning curve on this one.
Ready?
I
I know.
know. 0!
Go again. It keeps glancing off.
Sure.
It really does. Somebody else
Hold up.
take a
Amy.
flap at this thing.
And flap we did.
I have rage
Other side stuff.
and very dang it, it's over there.
Wow. Little did we suspect that the true question that we'd be answering today is how difficult it is to hit a large target with a shoe.
The struggle bus had certainly left the station.
Before y'all write it off, let the person with actual rage in his soul take over.
I like that this is a competition for who has the most rage.
Oh, Stephanie, it was never a contest. Rage Pat engage!
Not a chance. So this is like the classic physics experiment. You not even. No. Okay. So it really is your ninth grade physics class. If you ever been
98.
Your teacher probably described how one thing can only exert as much force on the other as can be exerted on it. So if you punch a piece of paper, that paper can only exert as much force on you as you can exert on it. If anything that you're hitting or that's being hit is super flexible, it's going to immediately bring the force that it can actually deliver to zero. You're just delivering bend. You're not delivering any force.
Equal and opposite reaction and all that.
Yeah, all that. Newton, you know? He was on to something, you guys.
Right, that's kind of why they put his name on the measurements, the unit of measure.
Let's get another shoe.
Next up was the sneaker, tastefully pulled from Amy's newest cosplay, Street Fighter. Little did she suspect how literal that would be for the shoe.
So, the sandal had way too much bend. We're going to try an everyday sneaker, which will give us a little bit more weight and a little less flexibility.
Hold on. Is this a pump?
It is a pump.
Is it going to do more damage if I pump it all the way?
No, actually, it'll probably do less. Stop that.
So satisfying!
With the shoe pumped up, it was time to swing. And immediately there was a clear difference. The less floppy sneaker wasn't losing all its force by bending away from the target. Across our swings, Steph and Amy had an average force in the low hundreds, and I clocked in at just over 200 newtons. And already you can see that it's
All right,
not
there we
just
go.
the shoe making the difference, it's also the weight of the person that's doing the hits. All three of us wanted to be a part of this experiment because we represented a spectrum of sizes, a small, medium, and large, if you will. And as you can see with the data, there was a clear progression.
The side is a little bit further down than I would like.
Steph and I, as the resident thick king of theorists,
You all
consistently
set?
did the
That's why you're down. Jesus.
Figure, size matters. Hence why contact sports like boxing have themselves weight classes. The other thing that matters when you hit someone with an object, turning on the machine.
Oh, it was not.
Trust us, we're professional. Also, this is probably a good time to mention that we, as professionals, don't recommend trying this at home, because as you're about to see, even professionals run into problems.
Fucking whore. Hey, you snapped? No, you didn't. Stop that.
254, but I lost the shoe in the process.
Famous last words, right? Of course, my swings, I couldn't hold on to this thing for the life of me. Just shoes flying left, right, and center.
Oh, yeah.
Should have been more scared. The force meter I was trying to hit with the cameraman. Overall, the sneaker showed that at least we could get results, but nothing was really close to being even remotely good, which meant that it was time to move on to the first real adjacent
Slow
shoe,
down then, I
the
guess.
wedge. And Amy made sure to bring a very weighty wedge.
It's heavy.
This is gonna do
Here
damage.
first.
Oh, it was. This shoe, the heaviest one on the roster by far, weighed in at 460 grams or 1.01 pounds. This one was the first contender that felt like a real weapon.
This is the wedge that you go to the club in, and then you take it off midway through your evening, and then you put it off the
Wait, you're
side.
the barefoot person in the club? Oh, no.
So when you go to the club, in order to do the dance, this is the shoe that you should wear to protect yourself.
Though, yet again, the wedge shoe gave us the same grip issues.
It's a grip problem, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna really try
These
to
are
wedge
from-
my fingers in here and get a good handle on it.
Stitch that back up.
Ready?
It's oh so quiet. You fall in love, sing boom, sky up above, sing boom.
always here to teach you the proper way to wield your footwear like a deadly weapon. Amy and I also got some big swings in while testing some alternative survival strategies.
Oh, God.
Again, apologies.
Is your instinct the like hit and run? So you hit, drop, run.
Right, I mean, honestly, the real solution here is like,
In the end, the heavier shoe brought Amy and Steph's max force to 245, while mine capped out at just under 400 newtons. And while those numbers were starting to get into impressive ranges, suddenly I realized that there was a question that we should have been asking ourselves from the very beginning. Was any of this actually better than just punching?
if this is the question of whether you're better off using a shoe or just your fist, I feel like all of us need a baseline.
Admittedly, we were all feeling a bit nervous considering none of us had ever really punched anything before.
Yeah, but kind of nervous.
That's not true. He got really mad about scripts one time and punched the wall.
I did say, I punched the wall once.
But honestly, it probably made the results better since most people haven't done that sort of thing in the past. And speaking of those results, they wound up to be very surprising.
Whoa,
480.
there was a good one.
548.
Yeah, 548.
Okay.
891.
Overall, each and every one of us were able to get double the force out of a punch than we were out of that heavy wedge. So between that and the awkward grip required to swing a shoe around, things weren't looking all that hot for the footwear fatality. But we weren't about to give up hope. It was finally time to swing some heels. For this test, we wanted to use different sizes of heel to get the best sample. What we immediately noticed, outside of Amy's unique fashion choices,
Ooh, these are fun. Are these yours, Amy?
Those are mine.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I like fun socks, so you can show them off.
was that even though the force was about the same as the wedge, the area of impact was not.
It is separate, so it's not a wedge, so we don't have force distributed all the way down the shoe. It really is just focused in the heel.
The other interesting thing, and again, like this is the important thing to note when we're talking about this particular episode, and force as a measurement, right? Force is pressure distributed across a surface area, right? So not only is it like how hard are you hitting something, but also how wide the area are you hitting it with. So as we get to these like narrower and narrower, smaller, presumably all that force is getting funneled into a smaller surface area, so it should be doing more damage.
Right you are, live action me. This is the linchpin of our experiment. Pressure. Pressure is the force exerted on an object over a surface area. The smaller the area, the more pressure that you're actually applying. Case in point, bring out the stiletto.
Again, if we're talking about force distribution across surface area, a fist is very wide, so yeah, you're going to be delivering a lot of force, but it's going to be dispersed over across a large surface area. If we're looking to do damage,
You're never going to stab something with a fist. And ultimately,
No.
that's what the
You shouldn't be able to stab something with a fish.
How much force do you need to hit it with? It's how much force do you need to puncture it?
And from the beginning, there was a very visible difference here. Sure, the force we were delivering tended to be at the lower range for our shoes, but the damage we were doing with that force was much greater.
It didn't puncture it, but I did get 147.
you're seeing the like pointed damage
Yeah.
that's being done to the bag itself.
None of the other shoes were denting the surface, and you can see, like, we almost broke through on a couple of them here.
And then it was my turn, and on the first swing, it happened.
And I ripped into it.
Oh, yeah! All right, our first stab of the day.
Stab and a half! In fact, every time I landed a blow with only the heel, the results were constantly deadly.
Oh, 166, but I did.
Oh, yeah.
That's a huge.
Definitely some damage.
The name Tiny Knives is entirely accurate. The stilettos were able to do damage at a level that none of the other shoes could. In short, coming out of the force test, it seemed like the recommendation for this episode was stilettos or nothing. Using punches ensures you don't lose most of your force through an awkward grip on a shoe, whereas stilettos are just able to do a bunch of ripping and puncture damage. But would it be enough to actually damage the human skull?
I might do an early live stream tomorrow because I think I'm not going to have much energy after my long day.
That was giving us inconsistent ideas of what sort of damage they'd be doing, we decided to go all out and get replicas of the human head, complete with actual skulls in there.
We dug up some skulls and put them on YouTube. No.
Not a human skull.
These were provided by a company called Zombie Go Boom. They did a fantastic job. You have a gel outside and an actual 2-scale human skull-like object inside.
Right you are, Steph. These heads are made to replicate not only the human skull's actual durability, but the ballistics gel coating is also skin accurate. Plus, we have insides specially filled with blue ooze because it's not blood. Blood isn't blue. This episode about smashing a human skull repeatedly with a shoe is totally monetization friendly. And hey, blue goo! It's kind of like a celebration of the new channel launching. Who needs a piñata when you can just smash some skulls with shoes from your very own closet? Again, thank you to Amy's Closet for the sacrifice. And thank you for your sacrifice, Mr. Head, Sir Head. I think our ballistics guy needs a name.
They have a good name.
Head to head. So Amy's been doing the research for this episode, and you are now a skull expert, yeah?
I do love myself a skull, so doing the research was a very fun thing to do.
Is the skull your favorite bone in the body?
It actually is. I think people undersell the skull. We all have them. They are beautiful. They let us have these beautiful faces.
If the skull is Amy's favorite bone in the body, what's yours, Steph?
I'm not
fucker.
down myself, but I can appreciate a good skull.
I'm more of a tibia man.
No one's a tibia man.
Oh, get out of here! Hashtag justice for tibia!
You just pick it because it's a funny name.
You know what? Upon further reflection, Stephanie was right. I'm not a tibia man. I'm all about them metatarsals, baby! But before we started smashing skulls, it was important for us to know a little bit more about them to develop where exactly we should be aiming so we got the best chance of breaking through. Luckily, Amy and all her head bone knowledge was there to provide. Amy, take it away.
Well, Matt,
What do you
it turns out
think?
that the skull is not just a single bone, it's made up of approximately 22 different bones, 8 cranial bones and 14 facial bones. Now, obviously, the weak points of our face are the holes that already
They kind of look like tulips,
ears,
but
nose, eyes, mouth. However, none of that can give us the satisfaction of cracking into our skull replica. To do that, we have to aim at 2 main areas. Area 1, teres, more commonly known as the temple. This is widely considered the weakest part of the skull and comes with an extra bonus of having a major artery behind it. If it's ruptured, it can cause internal bleeding that can lead to death. Good for our experiment, bad for everything else. Area 2 are the cranial suture lines that are formed where the fontanelles of your head fuse together during childhood. Fontanelles are the soft spot on a baby's head that allow a baby to more easily pass through the birth canal and give room for the brain to expand during early childhood development. They then fuse together around 18 months old, making that fused dome that we all think of as the top of the skull. But those resulting lines where they merge are weaker than any of the surrounding bone, making them great places to aim for in our experiment. Back to you, Matt.
Armed with that knowledge, it was time to head to head his final send-off. Or at least try to give Ted his final send-off.
I am so sorry for what's about to happen to Ted.
Alright, buddy.
So sorry.
I mean, he's about to be smacked with a sandal. He has no dignity left.
Speaking of sandal, let's pull it out.
And this, theorists, was the moment that we found the newest niche for all those ASMR channels out there, slapping skulls with sandals.
Actually, the sound is what really makes this one a good ride. Oh, yeah. Wow.
As to be expected, the sandal was doing nothing but getting Ted dirty. The sneaker also has lackluster results.
Nothing. Didn't even crack it.
Enter the wedge. At the end of Steph's turn, we realized that we may have been to assume any cracking had been done. We were definitely doing damage, but not enough to break through the skull.
We're gonna crack here, but actually the inside skull is still intact for me.
That, however, wouldn't last long.
Hey! It cracked it!
Amy lives for violence. That's awesome.
It's also in.
Twisted Tea fans love summer and the smooth, refreshing taste of Twisted Tea Hard Iced Tea. Made with real brewed tea and just the right kick of lemon flavor. But don't take our word for it. Ask our fans. Twisted Tea. Good times with a twist.
Tim's loaded bowls now bring more to the table. More chicken, that is. Served in habanero, barbecue crispy chicken, and cilantro lime. Mealtime differently with Tim's loaded bowls, now with more seasoned chicken.
In slightly the shape of the side of the
No,
heel.
you can see. Yeah, you can actually track it on there where you see.
once upon a time, when I was working on one of these at the shop,
The finishing blow, though,
some
would ultimately
touristy
come from
woman
me,
comes in,
not before I got into character.
and she said something very weird to me.
Leave me alone! Creep!
Because I was sewing the clamshell boobs on the mermaid.
I guess
And it was just a teddy bear, so it didn't have tits. And she said something weird, and I don't know. It was giving transphobic vibes. And I'm sitting there thinking, I'm sewing fake seashells onto an inanimate object to turn it into a mythical creature, and you're turning this into a gender thing? Okay. Bye. Like, it's just like the weirdest conversation. She was like trying to get me to say something, and like in front of the other members of the family that were there, and it was just like, this is an inanimate object dressed up as a mythical creature. Why are you questioning what's in its pants? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you? It's a mermaid dinosaur. It was just weird. People are weird.
There's brain matter. There's brain matter.
Speaking of those heads, one more huge shout out to Zombie Go Boom. Well, we didn't get them for free. They did put them on a rush order to get them Style Theory Blue and to the studio in time for the shoot. But enough with the sappy skull montage because we haven't answered the biggest question of all. Can a heel actually kill?
First off, not only did we damage the skull, but also damage my heel. So relevant.
How are you gonna go back to the club in that?
I know, I can't. I gotta get a new pair. I'm gonna go into my chunky heel.
Equipped with a new shoe, we also needed ourselves a new head.
Secondly, we got a new head, which means we need a new name.
Yep. Is it gonna be Ted 2, or are we going like Ned the Head?
This is clearly Ned the Head.
With a rubber bottom and a significantly lighter shoe, I was skeptical that the chunky heel would be able to get the job done. Oh boy, was I wrong.
Ooh, that one sounded good.
Oh, got a crack, got a crack.
Oh wow, you did.
I missed where I was intending to hit completely. I was like several inches away, but I still got a crack.
I am shocked. I did not anticipate that.
My mind was blown. Figuratively, of course, I didn't want to be insensitive to Ted and Ned's current state. But in all seriousness, by aiming at the soft spot of the head, the sutures where the skull fused together, Steph was able to break through. And quite easily. In fact, it all came down to surface area.
Standing here and hearing it happen, it's like you're using the head of a hand. I didn't think that this would be strong enough or forceful enough to be able to do that, but that's exactly what's happening. It's like we're bringing down the head of the hammer on top of the skull and literally penetrate it.
Yeah.
Since we'd done so much damage to the top of the head, I wanted to see what would happen if I put that hammer-like force to the test against Ned's face. I was not disappointed.
Oh, I got brain juice in my mouth. You two can show off the blood of your enemies. Please. And now that you're being replaced, we need a new guy. Thank you. Next.
One final pair of shoes meant that we had time for one final head and one final name.
New head means new name.
Fred the Head.
Fred the Head is going to be christened here in short order because it's time for our final shoe of the day. Breaking out this little knife, the stiletto. Let's do it.
I'm so excited for this finale. So again, I think the goal is to get as one and done as you possibly can. Can you really just get the job done in a single stab?
I don't just break up my good heels for anybody who walks into the studio.
Lovely. Full on stiletto.
Up to this point, Steph felt bad because she'd missed out on all the major cranial contusions. That was about to change.
Given the success that we've had before, I'm going to actually aim for this frontal area, right down the zipper of the skull here.
That does seem like it's been kind of our most consistent success rate.
All right. And chiropractor action. Make sure the squish is all squishing the squishy places. I like the colors on this one. Like the three of them. The purple, the blue, and the green. They look good together, I think.
In one blow, Stephanie had penetrated the skull and got right into
I feel like it should have something
against all
decorative on it.
expectations.
A little bit more here, maybe, if I have anything.
That is one of the things that we need to experiment on the channel. Food theory has it, style theory has it.
You might
Go in not expecting the result to actually happen, and then all of a sudden you do it. It completely disproves everything that you thought was wrong.
There you have it, theorists. We did it. Killer heel. Literally exist. We proved it. But you know we can't just stop there. When the science is done, we do it for the fun. Amy went for the eye just to see what would happen, and me, well, I'm an artist.
Alright, that's another mermaid down.
One fewer thumbnail.
That's simpler, but that's okay.
Right there. I think Fred has officially served his purpose at this point.
Alright, am I gonna do another giant squid or not?
But this wasn't just purely about the force. Going into the skull test, I think all of us were a little bit skeptical about what heels could do. As we were
Hunting is the best way to go.
Absolutely. Once it looked by numbers, like the best thing they could do. Totally for the song. And even when we were starting out with
Flip it over so we can get it.
clear how hard it was. So it's not easy to get through it. And you feel just like a knife. It just goes straight through.
One of my favorite things about together is when we go in thinking that we know what the solution is going to be, and then it completely being upended by the event. So this is one of those times. I did not think that I would walk out of the studio today with a high heel shoved into our snow. Done! Done! It's proven! The idea of the killer heel is there! Proof to the pudding!
Good job, everyone.
Woo! Woo! So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Should you use your shoes in order to defend yourself? Can your killer heels actually kill someone? Yes.
Absolutely.
Absolutely they can. Just make sure they're stilettos. But hey, that's the theory. A style theory! Keep looking sharp. Literally. Literally sharp.
22.
Speaking of fashion that kills, did you know that your makeup is probably poisoning your face right now? That video is on the left. Anyway, go! Binge watch Style Theory all day, my friends. It is our new channel. Give us all the watch time so the algorithm loves us and makes us a viable fashion channel. Thank you, as always, for your support. I'll see you over on one of those other videos. Not only is it disgusting, it is also completely unexpected. Wouldn't it be ironic if this entire experiment was actually the thing that did best cleaning and the soap did nothing? Wouldn't that be amazing? Hello, Internet! For today, you've heard of Bill 9, but get ready for some Bill Live. Previously on Style Theory, we did an episode digging into whether or not you can walk away from the shower. This is that does not wash their legs because they think that the soap and water run into their bodies is enough to get themselves clean. And we found that, yeah, they actually kind of had a point. A lot of the surface dirt that we have found ourselves as part of the experiment was absolutely washed up and down the drain just through gravity and water alone. But that comes to a lot of you in the comments to leave us follow-up questions. Specifically, just how are those legs? Sure, we were successfully able to get rid of all the stuff, all the visible dirt on our legs, but what about all the stuff that we can't see? The bacteria, the viruses, the microbes that are living and breathing all across your thighs. Yeah, that is the question that we're looking into today.
How effective is soap at getting your legs clean, and specifically, what style of soap is going to be best? Oh, this is Vio, Matt. This is Vio, Stephanie. Croak at us, Matthew.
Here, that sounds great.
Matthew is croaking it out after 3 days of shouting at people at VidCon, so I'm here to sub in for the moment.
It was positive shouting.
Alright, so you walk into the bath aisle at your local store, and you're presented with dozens of different options. You've got your hard bars, you've got your liquid soaps, you've got your ones with added exfoliators to take off dead skin cells, and you've even got ones with added air in them, because air is supposed to help get your legs clean. I don't know, it sounds like shrinkflation to me, but who knows. You're selling it as a feature rather than a bug, so maybe it works.
So, that is what we're aiming to test today, my friends. We are equipped with all different forms of soap. Test out what is going to get our legs the cleanest, and to make sure that we're capturing all the invisible bacteria like this. We've got these bunch of petri dishes to see what's actually growing on to. But before we hop over into the shower, first we got to learn a little bit about how soap works, and not just about surfactants and catch-all molecules and things like that, but how they actually destroy the viruses and bacteria within our legs. Of course, when we're talking about the science of cleanliness, soap, and all things chemistry, there is one person and one person only we gotta call this house, and that person is Stephanie.
Oh, hi! It's me!
Graceful as ever. Just flop around.
Hi! Let's talk about soap.
I think last time you caught us up on like soap 101.
Yes.
Can you give us like soap 201?
Yes, so where we left off last time was that soap is a cat-dog molecule. It has a watery end and it has an oily end, and that helps to get all the dirt off of your legs and wash away. So soap actually has two functions. One is a chemical function, and one is a mechanical function. And what that means is that it's doing different things on your legs depending on what you're talking about living there. So for viruses, did you know that regular soap actually kills viruses, right?
I did not know that.
You went through the entire pandemic
Fuck.
and you don't know that soap kills viruses?
I just do what people tell me to do.
So when you're talking about soap, you've got these two ends of the molecule, right? You've got the oily end and the watery end. So for the oily end, that actually sticks to the outside of viruses. Viruses have what's called a phospholipid layer around it. It's basically just like an oily bubble around the virus.
Lipid means fat.
Exactly. Hey, way to go, science.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Science.
So when you wash your legs with soap, that oil end actually sticks to the outside of that virus bubble and pries it open, and then the virus is naked and exposed to the world, and it just immediately dies. But soap actually also has a mechanical function, and that's where things around bacteria come in. So you have a lot of bacteria just naturally living in.
I'm over here.
And bacteria are actually living organisms, which means they're a lot harder to just kill than a little virus bubble. So what soap is doing when you're washing your legs is not actually killing bacteria, it's lifting it off your legs and washing it away. So when you take a shower, you're not killing bacteria, you're literally just washing them down the drain. The more you actually scrub soap into your legs, the better a job you're doing at actually getting into the oil on your skin, and the more, theoretically, that you're lifting away and actually rinsing off bacteria. When you wash your hands, the reason they tell you to wash your hands for 20 seconds is because that's how long it actually takes to get through the oily layer of, residue or whatever it is on your hands.
So today, we'll be scrubbing hard and putting soap to the ultimate test. It's important to know here, now that we've all graduated from the School of Soap 201, we're taking every precaution to get the fitness results. For our experiment today, we'll be using products all from the same brand, Dove. Why? Well, first, to keep the ingredients as simple as possible, so that we're specifically testing the form of the soap rather than the brand of soap. And two, Dove happens to have all the best variety of soap options in one brand. Good on you, Dove. I'm sure you'll do great. Spoiler alert, Dove does not do great. Now, as for the bacterial cultures, we have one more lesson to go through. So, basically, all for this episode. We just take a minute to bring it back. Matthew just sat on it. Look at it. He's just sitting on the couch the whole time. Jeez.
These are Petri dishes. They're set up with a material in here called agar, which is basically a bacteria-friendly layer. It's food for bacteria. So if there's any bacteria that comes off of your leg, squash it onto here and see if it'll grow. So we'll just be nestling these little guys after we swab our legs and putting them in our unair-conditioned attic where they can, just have a nice little sauna roast party up there for a couple of days.
Yep, you heard that one right. We are going to be asking our employees to shower in front of us on camera, old hat on this channel, but then we're going to be asking them to culture cells from their legs so we can see how much bacteria is living and breeding off of them.
It's going to be great.
It's not awkward at all. Oh wait, we need legs.
We need legs.
Legs! Anyone have legs?
Oh my gosh!
It's more than just legs, more than
All right, so without any further, now that we've got 2, 4, 6, 8 legs at our disposal to force them to test, it's time to throw people into the mud bag. I think I'm joking, but I'm not.
Correct, live action, Matthew. We're indeed throwing ourselves legs first into a good old-fashioned pool filled with grade A mud straight from my garden. We literally sent Amy back to dig up some dirt, throw it in, which they did remarkably enthusiastically.
Do you think this is what they use for spas?
Smart bath being prepared for us. We need to talk about swabs. We are getting all the samples our science-loving hearts can handle. Each person will be doing a total of 5 swabs. Our bodies with water, but before using any soap, just to see how clean gravity and water alone can get us. And then one final swab per leg, which will each be using a different total of 2 swabs per soap. Like last time, we're taking into account the hairy leg for each of our tests. So, Amy and Josiah will be testing the fancy. So with all of that exposition out of the way, it's finally time for our first swab of the day.
I should actually alter this fabric pattern. I haven't really changed it since I made it, and I only just did it the once. I said, yeah, close enough. Here's some legs. But,
It's time for the mud. So, introduce episode of the new channel that we're going to be launching, which is and I can come up with nothing.
hoping I would look like a cool person in a mud bath. I actually looked more like Babe.
If I close my eyes, I can imagine that I'm using my own topsoil.
If you were in Los Angeles right now, this would be like $250.
This would cost a lot of money.
And with that, let the mud slathering begin. I have to do the grab and splat, which I felt like was a really efficient. Everyone was a believer.
Is that all you're doing? Are you gonna get like
There you go. There you go. All set? Is that enough for you? Good. Come out.
now let it sit and it exfoliates me?
With Matthew's face now covered in mud and ready to bake in the hot summer sun, we took my dirty leg swabs and moved on to the next volunteer. Amy!
There are so many rocks.
It was a very rocky garden, okay?
Yes, it is.
And you're also just, fun fact for everyone who ever wants to make a fence, you want to
You fall in love, sing boom, sky up above, sing
look, I don't with some level of pebble or light gravel in order to maintain a solid foundation to hold down your fleece. Again, this is a style.
Some mud influence. Everyone's favorite basement dwelling show.
Here as well is representing the other half of this experiment, which is hairy legs. Because again, with all of these shower episodes, there's always the variable of smooth, shaven legs versus the hairy legs that just hold on to the gunk, right? You can just see it right now. Hairy Yeah, step over in the corner. I feel you. Yeah. Wait, 82? Where all my Czechoslovakians at?
I'm like that.
Yeah!
High five in history.
Take two! Oh no! That was so. That's one of those memes that just goes down in history.
Matthew has it written in the script here that we're all just going to forget that this happened, right? He's going to move on, and the internet's going to forget. I know the internet never forgets. Go big, now. Let's move on and swab again.
Perfect. Okay, I think you're all set. Alright. So with that, there you go. Load it up. Oh man, look at all the little buddies that keep growing out.
Yeah, nobody can see me working. Sorry. I'm just cutting shit. There we go. Camera moved, I guess.
Well, I appreciate
go.
Matthew's deep dedication to this episode. He did make one interesting choice.
What the fuck is happening? Yeah. There we go. There we go. Oh, bastard. Love that pink. I do have a pink. It's not as bright as this, but I think I'm gonna go pink for this one.
To join the nearly 2 million people already part of the Style Theory community. That's so many. If you join, you won't miss any of our epic hygiene saga. You'll learn how to wash like every part of your body, including probably eventually your hair. We're gonna test how often you should actually wash your jeans and the best way to shave. And we might tell you to throw away your makeup again. It's gonna be awesome. You can join the community for all that and more at the link. Do it with your face. Do it with your nose. Do it with any part of your body you want. They'll all be clean.
Just getting washed with pure water and see what that does. And then from there, you can judge whether the soap actually makes their legs cleaner. Alright? So, fire up that shower in 3, 2, 1, go! Super chill.
Now, you got a lot of shower footage in the last episode, and this time function pretty much. First. So we could take
Alright, the body's done.
So once we felt like we rinsed as much of the even so, you can still see the mud stains on our skin, proving that the water could get concerning for our previous theory, I was more concerned about the state of our drain. Hoping we had some room in the production budget for some extra strength Drano, I still knew we needed to shower in the name of science.
So, to be totally honest, we were potty training my son during COVID, and so the hand washing song I use is actually a song about sitting on the toilet. It goes, I'm sitting on the toilet like a prince or princess on the throne. And then it goes on. For copyright reasons, we probably can't play the rest.
But after a long, long time of Matthew getting the gunk out of every crevice of his body, we felt clean enough to take our swabs, one for each.
Oh no, I gotta do the long cut first.
Amy and Josiah were up next, and they had a unique way of remembering which leg needed which.
Okay, let's see. Which one is my long side?
And I thought Matthew and I were the nerds around here.
Alright, there's my long
What is
side.
this, TikTok?
Yeah, I got like 3 of these glow in the dark space blankets.
While we gave the play-by-play.
So tell me, how did you feel your shower? Do you feel like you just underwent the Sunscreen?
I feel pretty great, actually. Both of my legs feel good. I think my left leg feels a little bit better, actually. And that was the bar soap, which is not what I was expecting.
We'll unpack that in just a minute after we get the rest of our samples. After diligently swabbing my own employees' legs, they hopped back in the shower, and I have to say, I'm a little jealous that they got to try the fancy soap. Take a look at that sweet foam pumping action. So foam, so fancy. I'm very proud of Amy. She really went to town, hoping for a double technique to work off the mud stains. Josiah, on the other hand, went for a massaging motion to work in a good lap. Post-shower, Amy was still feeling like some concerning stinging.
Everything is just a little smirks, which I think is from all of the skin freckles, all of the pores that you have with the hair, all the twisted stuff that's already like exfoliating my leg while applying the mud means that everything going on top is just giving me a sting.
Wouldn't it be ironic if this entire experiment, the mud was actually the thing that did the best thing? If it was the mud that exfoliated our legs well enough, and then the soap and the soap did nothing. Wouldn't that be amazing?
Little did he know. Oh, little did he know. So after this moment, we took all our swabs, wrapped them up safely in clean, sterile towels, and stored them in our hot, stuffy attic for nobody. No one disturbed them, nothing messed with them. They just grew, however much they wanted to grow. Happy little bacteria. 5 days later, I had to bring them back down and analyze the results. And I can't make this up, friends. You just have to see it for yourselves. And we are about to get really candid, so everyone just...
Okay, so we just set up bacteria cultures, lined them up based on purpose, based on what we did. Not only is it disgusting, it is also completely unexpected. I had to call in everyone so we can get live reactions to this, because I don't think
Okay, those are my longs. Arms cut.
general reaction, this is disgusting, and a lot more disgusting than I expected, right? So if you look, you have like a Amy control, and you have the Josiah, right? These are what bacterial cultures are supposed to look like. Like this is what I was expecting.
This is our base leg.
Yeah, this was you pre-shower, pre-dirtying, pre-anything, right? This is just a basic level of bacteria in your life. And this is what a bacterial culture looks like, right? It is just a couple of dots, and they get bigger or smaller depending on how big the culture is, right? But then you look across every other one in our test, soaked, non-soaked, rinsed, dirty, whatever, and all of them are just overrun with these massive cultures. Like this is Stephanie freshly out of the mud. This is Stephanie after having soaked.
This soap.
Yeah, after a full wash, after a full rinse.
With the full 20-second song, we did everything.
And the whole thing is covered in bacterial cultures. But before we get to kind of that, let's just talk about the first one, which is the controls. Very clearly, I have the dirtiest legs.
This is mass control.
Yeah.
There is so much happening in this petri dish compared to like Josiah's.
Yeah, I feel called out relative to Josiah's.
What was different about you?
Normally I would say that, oh, it's because I haven't taken a shower in a week. I reward myself for finishing scripts and work and whatever.
Wait a minute.
And that's like my, like, I did it.
I don't think that's
close
what I
everything,
do.
I feel fresh and good, and I'm ready to start the next day. So there are days where I don't have one, but I know for a fact that I have a shower literally a couple
Do
hours
something a
before.
little bit
Yeah,
different.
and I had a shower tonight.
And same with me. So one of these things is not like the others.
So, did you do anything really dirty that day?
Before jumping into a
Before jumping into the mud pit?
no.
Okay, so
I feel so clean at this moment.
since that's the top up there. Okay.
Was wearing a dress. You were the only one wearing, like you are today, jeans.
And I wear jeans like every day.
Yeah, you wear jeans every day.
No. So this is...
How often do you wash your jeans?
It varies, honestly.
That's a whole other episode.
That's a whole other day.
But knowing that this
Is what's hiding in your jeans?
well, and not just hiding my jeans, but it's literally the difference between shorts or sweater versus wearing pants. That counts. So starting at a higher baseline, and I'm fairly confident that you're right about that. But then, how do you explain the rest of it, right? So as you go down the line, obviously the cultures blow up. To be honest, I'm surprised by this, right? Like, we designed this experiment, and I didn't know what to expect coming out of a muddy tub, right? I'm like, oh, you're gonna get a lot of stuff, but like, really is that gonna be affecting a lot of bacteria and like microscopic organisms and whatever onto your legs? I was skeptical about it, but man!
Now, how do you feel about having that on your face?
It's in your ear.
It really... Oh no! You know, it really makes me second guess all the things that we were talking about. You know, like, oh, you think like, oh, it's making my face feel so alive, it's exploding.
So, okay, and this is also very much this one question that now I have.
Bacteria eating off my face.
We talked about like doing an episode where we have the different spots. How dirty are those mud baths that you're in? Like how much bacteria is in there if this is like normal mud? What mud do they use?
There are so many questions coming out of this episode.
Yeah.
This is the episode that spawned the next year of content for us. I love style theory. I love our theories in general, but like style theory have been able to accomplish these tests that I've always been curious about and I've always wanted to see done but have never been done. And it is making me question literally every product that I buy, which is kind of bad and kind of scary, but also I feel much more empowered as a consumer because I'm like, oh, they're just selling me crap. I think it's starting to get into the results series.
And I think that's my cue to take over. No offense to that
5, 6, 7, 8.
but your shock and awe make for really messy recaps. So let's talk about what we really see. After our cultures blow off of the mud with our dirty leg sample, the next in line is our clean water rinse. This is more or less what we did for our Do You Need to Wash Your Legs episode, letting the water just take off the dirt, and shockingly we see a big difference here. The cultures, while still very bacteria-ridden, are definitely cleaner than the initial dirty swab in the mud bath. And that right there is the key for understanding the rest of our results, because when we moved down to the next two rows where we used soap, things got dirtier. All of a sudden, there were more cultures, not less. We expected to see something more like our starting control, with sparse, contained cultures. Instead, we see a whole ecosystem developing in the petri dishes. At first, I thought maybe it was the microbes living in our own shower water, but that actually can't be it. The water rinse swabs use the same water. We also swabbed in the same locations on our leg every time. So again, not it. And as far as we know, it wasn't bacteria.
Hey, there's my 8 legs.
Fresh for this experiment. So seriously, what's going on?
Now we have soap.
Okay, I have the legs, I have that one. That just leaves my little grabby pads for the giant squid. Hello, bagels, beagles, bagels, beagles. There's no R. Hello, beagles. How are you tonight? Welcome to the world's most boring live stream. I'm sewing a giant squid plushie.
Ordinary soap, apparently, or maybe not. Maybe all soap is bunk at this point. We have to do another episode of this because we standardized this to all be Dove soap because we wanted it, the only variable to be the style of soap that you were wanting. But really, I feel like now we need to test different styles of soap because we're all
Soap should still be soap.
So, right? Soap should still be soap. And soap should get your legs cleaner as opposed to dirtier. Yeah, the water worked better than the soap. This reminds me of the detergent episode where we determined that there are some detergents that clean your clothes and there are some that don't, that only remove the stains from your clothes. There seems to be a difference in the hygiene world and in the cleaning world between products that actually don't clean.
There we go. All right. Here comes the fun part. I sit here and sit.
I expected to clean and sanitize me, but I don't think that's the case anymore. So anyway, yeah, this is clearly the darkest it's ever. So I'm going to toss it over to Steph now. Hopefully he can explain some of the ingredients back here and hopefully some of the scientific things about just artificial.
What time is it? Yeah, no time yet.
Take it away, Steph. Please explain chaos to us.
Welcome back to Steph's Science Corner, where I'm about to ruin your day, or rather your sodas. When we last left off, I talked about how soda has one job, just one, which is to get clean. But it turns out that soaps, like people, are more complex than you think. And right now, soap is going through a bit of an identity crisis. You see, it all depends on your definition of clean. Soap has always been about washing away dirt, but after COVID, society suddenly became very aware of the tiny microscopic world around us. And for the first time, consumers started to think again about what clean actually means. Suddenly, expectations of soap went from the basic wash away the dirt to protect me from all dirt, including microscopic contamination. But all soaps weren't quite ready to live up to that, which leads us to what happened today. Let's compare the beauty bar and washes we use today to Dove's other line of care and protect versions. Overall, we see pretty similar ingredients: oils for moisturizing, glycerin for keeping the body washing, acids and sodiums that create that cat dog effect we keep talking about. So what's the key factor that makes the care and protect line antibacterial? Benzalkonium chloride, which is an antibacterial chemical, is providing a 1-2 punch to the bacteria on your skin. So why not use it all the time in your normal skin? Sounds big thing. Chloride can have a very drying effect. So not exactly what the beauty editors who helped design Dove products are going for, I guess. And listen, we're not living up to would make a difference. Without doing another test ourselves, I'm not sure I can. Leaving our legs looking like this horror story. Obviously, there are medical grade soaps meant for athletes. Now all forced to look closer at the ingredients in every product we buy. Honestly, that'll have to be a series of tests we do on another day. Because while it might seem like we need to throw out all of our soap, remember at the start of this episode, and I all started out with very clean and normal control tests. So I'm not satisfied in saying that the only good doing a bad job at being soap while making us also like a sweet, moist home for bacteria. Would their antibacterial products have even given a different result? Hiding in that Tell us in the comments what soap and hygiene questions you think we should tackle next. Lather up the subscribe. Please remember, that's just a theory. Keep looking sharp. If you've missed any of our previous dirty deep dives, you can catch yourself up right now. Click the box to see our first shower episode about whether you need to wash your legs at all, or click the box to the left to find out how your laundry detergent is not getting your clothes as clean as you thought it did. Until next time, see ya!
The summer months, people are flocking to the beaches, the pools, their backyards to capture every last bit of the sun's rays before we all return to the eternal twilight that is winter. Of course, if you're going to be able to catch your last remnant of sea, you're best suited to lather up sunscreen to prevent roasting like a lava. We all have at least one person in our life who just doesn't believe in sunscreen. My mom, for instance, famously doesn't think that sunscreen huge moment in her character arc. But she's certainly not alone in thinking that. According to one study, 11% of Americans... Of course, making your own choice to not wear sunscreen is one thing, but it becomes entirely different when you start telling others to follow your lead.
For your body and then laying in the sun.
This is why I stopped wearing sunscreen. Because if I put a bunch of chemicals
water behind her clean. You know, H2O, another chemical compound. But all joking aside,
What happened?
hard to pronounce chemicals that are put into our sunscreen that are foreign to the average consumer, specifically ethylene and avobenzone. Here's the thing though, both of those have been approved for use by both the FDA and the European Commission as being safe to use. In addition, while a recent study identified ingredients in the sunscreen after application, the study also directly pointed out, and I quote, "These findings do not indicate that individuals should refrain from sunscreen." No, the real threat that sunscreen seems to pose. According to the National Park Service, 14,000 often serving as the literal home for hundreds of aquatic friendos. They don't call coral reefs the ocean. Ingredients in sunscreen are damaging the already fragile ecosystem. Sunscreen that contain the chemicals linked to coral damage. As a result, using more natural minerals like zinc oxide. Safe and necessary for human bodies. But at the same time, we have evidence that suggests that it might be damaging our aquatic ecosystems. And then you have solutions instead.
I never.
All of that came to a head when I saw that video. He's one of Eric's crew, and I think all of those guys are doing but gotta say, different. I just started to internally scream as I saw that experimental design and it going super viral. Hence this video. I wanted to test it all. Answer all of our questions about sunscreen. And we Tyler, we were a bit more careful about how we chose our sunscreens. To make sure our results were as reliable as possible, we got a low, medium, and high SPF in each of 3 different popular consumer brands. Banana Boat. We even did our best to ensure that the SPFs were consistent across. We also wanted 2 extremes. An more expensive or fancier brands of sunscreen. So we need to acquire some fancy sunscreen. But I was not prepared for the insanity that was their pricing logic.
80 minutes versus 40 minutes, double the time.
Yeah, but this is a gel. So there's a high premium put on sunscreens that don't show up on your skin. They don't leave like a white sheen on your face or on your skin. Is a gel. And it's a
but is clear and odorless. Score. We also learned that luxury
and something we are definitely paying cover.
50. That possibly made a difference. And just when you thought we went with the coconut oil, but we also tried avocado because we saw that come up in a lot of internet blogs. And lastly, we tried mayonnaise for the memes.
Is mayonnaise an instrument?
No, Pat. We're about to find out.
I can feel this is very sweaty back here. I'm going.
We'll rub a series of sunscreens across your sweaty back.
Urgent content.
Carolina sun wound up being much more intense than I realized. Solving FNAF while testing sunscreens. That, my friends, is how you multitask. After dragging my hot, sweaty body...
Died over here.
Avenge me. It's time to analyze our results. And here they are. And in case you need any help deciphering those results, here's a handy diagram to overlay what sunscreens corresponded to what part of my back. And immediately you can start to see some really interesting trends. Right? You see it? No, you're not seeing anything? Well, good, because there's apparently nothing.
Can I have another one, please?
Because scientifically,
A little
this
bit.
doesn't make any sense. Right
Take
there.
it.
Back a patch of skin with no lotion on it, and it went unchanged. A result that makes no sense when you zoom out and see this hot red portion of my back down here that I missed while covering the zone outside the realm of the test with SPF 50. But why? What happened? Well, turns out that my sweaty back wasn't just ruining Stephanie's day. I think it was ruining our experiment. Blood on my back might have contaminated the data. But that wasn't this episode and say, oh, we tried, or we could head back to the drawing board, broaden our understanding of science. Which option we chose? Radiation to the professionals, or us idiot YouTubers. more time efficient. According to workers there, 12 minutes in some of these beds is the equivalent to 3 hours of sun exposure. So if we test how sunscreen works under extended, intense sun, into the unfamiliar world. What sort of bed I was looking for. Safety ratings like a high around the world. Each one came with my trusty game theory duffel bag, available on theoryware.com, filled with all the lotions and hacks that I needed to finally end this educational but exhausting sunscreen phase. Now all I needed to do was pick up and lie down. I mean, we control clientele kicking had ourselves a plan of attack. This time, my body would be gridded up in advance, with each segment already filled in. Yes, that would mean I'd mildly smell the guacamole operators the next day, but no, I didn't worry about it. I had to absorb it into my skin for about
Isn't this thrilling? World's most exciting live stream. Try to contain yourself, everyone. We're sewing another leg. I think this is number 7. Now it's happening.
We'll know everything. We know the different types of UV light, we know the beds, we know the mixes, all of this stuff. So you can could about sunscreen, UV light, and tanning beds until I felt comfortable enough to head out for our third and final attempt. You see, the tanning salon really threw me for a loop when they started to talk about the 4 different bed types that each had different mixtures of UV light, which made me finally realize this light is invisible to our specialized cells called melanocytes release your skin cells. Wide spectrum skin color
It is gonna suck.
Fraction of the people out there. So let me know, your results with sunscreen will probably vary a lot. So then, what is sunscreen supposed to do? Well, before it can penetrate into your skin. In either case, sunscreen gives your melanocytes just enough time to produce the melanin needed to protect your skin from damage. If you forget to apply sunscreen or if you stay out for too long, your skin becomes overwhelmed, and that UV radiation starts to literally destroy your skin cells. The best case scenario for that, the UV light damages the DNA of your cells to such a degree that it just dies. Your immune system then rushes blood and immune cells to the damaged area, causing it to become inflamed and red. You read it right, the itchiness and redness of a sunburn, it's not caused by the sun literally burning your skin, it's from your own body trying to heal itself. Really puts a different spin on that summer glow, doesn't it? But of course, there are options. In UV light killing the skin cell outright, and instead mutates the skin cell's DNA, turning it into cancer. And all of that is without mentioning the wrinkles, sunspots, and premature aging that come with sun overexposure. So how then does a tanning salon try to mimic all of this? Well, much like how skin types are not all the same, not all UV radiation is the same either. See, the UV radiation that we experience here on Earth from the sun comes in 2 different flavors, UVA and UVB. UVA, which makes up about 95% of the UV light that we take in from the sun, penetrates skin. Skin cancer, it is the kind that's most associated with skin aging, since it damages the collagen and elastin that keeps your skin tight and perky under the surface. UVB, meanwhile, which makes up the other 5% of the sun's light, is the much more dangerous kind. It mainly impacts the upper layers of your skin, and it's the one most associated with protection factor, or SPF, that little number on the side of your sunscreen. It only measures how well it protects you against UV rays, not UVA. So you can put on an SPF 100 all day, every day, and that doesn't mean that you're protected at all from the aging and cancerous side effects of UVA. If you want a sunscreen that, protects you against rays, that way you know it protects against the drying and cancer-causing UVB and the aging and wrinkle-causing UVA. And you see, it's this balance of UVA and UVB that I hadn't really considered when I first saw the tanning salon. Different beds with their different products all deliver different relative amounts of these 2 lights, with beds ranging from the basic model and a 90-10 UVA to UVB split, all the way to 50 great days using a mix of their fastest bed, which had a 70-30 divide, and the instant bed with its 50-50. That way I could really get a test of how well these sunscreens were fighting back against the most intense version of the rays. And after pre-applying our wide range of sun products, I bravely returned to the several days. To be honest, trapped inside some sort of
Wi-Fi stasis tube with dozens of controls and misters and fans and voice controls that talk to me. With more piece of paper on some giant human Xerox machine. That said, for as strange and foreign as it was inside my little space tube, the warmth of all the lights. And if the machine didn't warn me of my imminent death multiple times at every square inch those things, all that relaxation potential was ultimately wasted. Seems like in this case, ignorance initially started as a 2-hour experiment. Xerox but finally, we had it, and the results were incredibly clear. So before I show you what we discovered, I hope you take a moment to appreciate what we had to do to make sure that you, the viewer, had the information necessary to make informed sunscreen decisions. It's far from me to tell you what to do, but feels like I deserve a click of that subscribe. How many other channels in your subfeed are going to subject themselves to high doses of UV radiation in the name of science? I didn't think so. Anyway, without any further delay, let me show you what all the sunscreen and sunlight did to my body. Here are the final results. Alright, so 5 suntans later, let's see where we netted out, shall we? This is awesome, me disrobing in front of the camera like this. Did you ever be saving this for the OnlyFans? Only theories? Only theories! Theories that are too hot for YouTube. What is this gel? I love this gel so much. I don't know. But it's answering right. So enough of me saying the inevitable. Let me take off my shirt in front of this camera and in front of my employees. This is great. Here we go. I love how nasty the tape has gotten after 3 or 4 days of just having it on here. I mean, it seems this is your control right here. Pretty obviously, everything around it, not tan and not red and angry at me. So it says that suntan lotion is clearly doing something. Honestly, I think what I'm surprised by with this is every square worked, which is shocking to me. This one right here, this is the 7 SPF. Literally nothing. Unchanged. Fantastic.
Hello, Richard. I don't know if you're still there, but hi. I'm making a giant squid.
Also, unchanged. That's how they get the money out of you.
Sorry, I kind of need my eyeballs to make sure I don't sew my fingers together, so sometimes I miss the chat.
Expensive work. It all so any of the TikTok ads. Mayonnaise, guacamole, little boy in the middle there, that's coconut oil. Yeah. Not a whole lot. It's also worth calling out the fact that, hey, some of these are minerals. Most of these had, the uncomfortable chemicals that people can't pronounce. They all work fine. But the ones across the board, it seems pretty darn definitive. Sunscreen actually protects your body. Yeah, it doesn't matter the ingredients. It is there. I wasted a week of my life and probably gave myself, skin cancer or something to prove to you that away from this long, arduous experience. It turns out that stuff that we've been rubbing onto our bodies for years and has gone through rigorous experimentation, it does. I know. Way more than just that. One, in terms of just pure visual appearance, the expensive brands did sunscreen that goes on clear odorless. Otherwise, any brand should be doing just fine for you. Secondly, we
Chiropractor today, but I don't think he beat me up enough.
And the tan that we got. Honestly, I expected with lower SPF scaling and letting in at least some of the rays. I mean, each session in the tanning booth was.
I gotta get a blood test.
I expected some of the lower.
I got it last month.
Effectiveness over that time, giving us. Sold us did an excellent job of protecting our skin, which kind of feels like it's
Ow, that hurt.
And they do want you coming in multiple times to get your ideal tan, so maybe this is more of a benefit to their profit line than your tan line. That said, if you're spending a long time on the sun, look for a sunscreen that is broad spectrum. That way you're protected against both UVA and UVB rays. And if you're really concerned about how chemicals in sunscreens are affecting your body and or the environment, then it seems like you can absolutely switch to a more mineral-based sunscreen that uses stuff like zinc oxide. They're proven effective both by the FDA and my chest, and they don't get absorbed into your skin. Regardless of the sunscreen though, be sure to read the packaging on your particular brand for how early and often they recommend reapplying the product. They develop those directions so people don't get hurt and they don't get sued. So I'm assuming their instructions are going to give you a pretty safe bet. Finally though, perhaps the biggest takeaway of all of this is not relying on sunscreen alone. You know what protected me the best during this entire experiment? The medical tape between the boxes and my shorts. If you're going to be spending time outside, take advantage of these. UV protective clothing like flash guards. These will ensure that you're minimizing your exposure as much as possible.
I worked in the sun last summer,
Not only by the doctors, but also by
and
manufacturers
yep,
themselves. Even the
kept out of the sun as much as I could.
Good to see that there is something that we all can agree on. Now, if you'll excuse me, the crew needs me. I lost our chessboard a couple weeks back and we were home to use my chess to play. Glad my weeks of pain wound up being useful to someone. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp.
Once you 3-minute miracle, makes my hair so much more shorter. Just hang out my hair for a little bit.
Sorry.
Celebrate your day. Celebrate snacks. We get it.
Switching to save your skin.
There we go.
Warmer, the sun's getting brighter, and even the vampires are venturing out into the world to melt away those winter blues. And that means that it's time once again to talk about sunscreen. It's become a bit of a yearly tradition for us here on Style Theory to put sunscreen products to the test. We've tested whether sunscreen actually works, whether sunscreen gels, mousses, or milks are better at keeping away the burn. And now it's time to complete the trilogy. If you've lived in or visited the US and tried our sunscreens, or you just follow a lot of skincare news online, you'll know that American sunscreen has a bit of a reputation of being, how do I put this, bad. They're bad. They're goopy, they leave a white ashy residue on your skin, and they feel awful under your makeup. But apparently that's not the norm in other parts of the world, which made me wonder, which country has actually mastered sun protection, and what does that mean? I'm going to question. Why is American sunscreen so trash? How have other countries upped their sunscreen game? And what can you do to get the most from your sunscreen? So get your passports ready, loyal peers, as we head out on Style Theory's Sunscreen World Tour.
I don't think I've seen this episode.
We're starting our tour in my home country of America. Because to know what everyone else is apparently doing right, we need to know what Americans are doing wrong. And we're going to write it all down in our handy-dandy travel journal. This will give us a way to score the rest of the world. In the US, sunscreen is treated as an over-the-counter drug. And like all drugs, they're regulated by the FDA. You know, the Food and Drug Administration. It's their job to decide what ingredients are safe and effective enough to go in our sunscreen. In total, the FDA has identified 16 different chemicals that are effective filters against the sun. Specifically, it's UV rays. Yes, technically there's a 17th ingredient called Nixoralexis, but that one is only allowed to be used by L'Oreal, so it's not really important to today's episode. But hey, if, let's say, 500 people subscribe right now, we will make a short about it. It's all up to you. Now, you may be thinking, wow, 16 ingredients? That sounds like a lot. Well, spoiler alert, it's not. That number is actually painfully small compared to the rest of the world. Heck, even Canada has 19 on their list. And that's a country where some areas don't even get sun for a full month. And we all know it's not the skin cancer you have to worry about when there's 30 days of night. You get me? Anyway, the reason that the US has so few ingredients is that the approval process is extremely slow and expensive. Yeah, the FDA hasn't approved a new ingredient since 1999, which is way before a lot of you watching this video were born. And it's not because companies aren't trying either. But since there are so few ingredients approved for use in the US, it means that all of our sunscreen options are pretty much the same thing in a different package. And worse, because yes, my fellow Americans, it gets worse. Of those 16 ingredients, only half of them are regularly used in modern sunscreen. Whether it's due to the ingredient's inefficiency or its big reputation, it means that US sunscreens are pretty much forced to use the same stuff. But this lack of variety doesn't just make our sunscreens feel loopy, it makes them weak. If you saw our previous sunscreen episodes, you'll know that there are two main types of UV radiation, UVA and UVB. UVB is responsible for sunburns and most types of skin cancer, while UVA is the one that causes signs of aging, aka the one that makes your skin leathery and full of wrinkles. And here's the kicker. SPF, you know that number we use to measure the quality of protection that we're getting? It only measures how well the product protects against UVB, not UVA. So even if a sunscreen has high SPF, it may do nothing to protect your skin from the aging effects of UVA. Yeah, not good. And of those 16 approved ingredients, only a few actually provide extensive coverage against UVA. And in case you're just sitting there thinking, it's fine, one or two more wrinkles, not really. Let me just show you this. A photo of a man who spent nearly 30 years as a truck driver, where one side of his body got way more sun than the other.
That's the photo. I remember that photo from years ago when I was little.
If a sunscreen can protect against both UVA and UVB, then it's allowed to call itself broad spectrum, which isn't exactly specific. I mean, how broad is that protection? The world may never know. Thankfully, the US does require all sunscreens above SPF 15 to pass a broad spectrum test. But that test isn't as thorough as other countries. In fact, only about 35% of US sunscreens would actually pass the UVA standards of Europe. Speaking of which, I think we have a pretty thorough list of US sunscreen failures to judge other countries by. Which means it's finally time to head out on our sunscreen world tour to find out what the US can do to up its sunscreen game. At each stop, we'll take a look at what each country is doing right to hopefully help fix what we are doing wrong. Oh, that's my flight. Let's go. My first stop, Europe, home of Alexander McQueen, boots, and I know there's another really good one.
Where's the body? Found the body.
I deleted Garrett.
I'm hungry.
Export here. I have the tip of my tongue. Oh, right. Tom Holland. Love that guy. Okay, Amy, focus. No more thoughts of Spider-Man. We are here for one reason and one reason only. Sunscreen. Right off the bat, there's one huge difference between Europe and the US. And it's not the accent. It's the drugs. Yeah, unlike the US, who regulates sunscreen like a pharmaceutical, Europe treats it as a cosmetic. I know, wild, right? As a result, the approval process for ingredients is much simpler and way faster. Europe has roughly 30 ingredients compared to the US's 16. This list includes super effective UV filters like BDMT or B-motrizinol, which, in actuality, companies in the US have been trying to get approved for over 20 years. Oof. Europe is also great at banning ingredients that were once used, but over time, modern science has proven to be more harmful than good. Ingredients like para-aminobenzoic acid, or PABA for short. It was one of the first UV filters to hit the market, but now we know that it can, increase the likelihood of UV damage from the sun. Ugh, yikes. Glad to know that no one is dumb enough to still use this, right? No. Wow. Well, at least most companies don't use it anymore, and the FDA may give it the boot soon-ish. Moving on. The EU and the UK also make the whole UVA and UVB protection much easier to understand. In the EU, they have this symbol that clearly shows the product protects against UVA, at least more clearly than broad spectrum. Anyway, but it doesn't just tell you what it protects you from, it also gives you an idea of how protective it is. In order to use this symbol, a sunscreen has to have a UVA protection that's at least 1/3 as good as its UVB. And it's good to know that this is also the same threshold that you'll find used in some countries in South America, as well as some African nations. And back in the UK, some companies even go a step further. The UK
Those places would
companies
definitely know
have a
about sun.
5-star rating system based on how well it protects against UVA relative to the UVB. See, I knew I liked you, Boots. So clearly, Europe is on to something. Not only do their laws make it easier for new ingredients to be approved, it's easier for harmful ingredients to be removed. Plus, their UVA are way easier for the everyday person to understand. So, let's make a note of that in our handy-dandy travel journal. And while that's all great, it's only part of what we're hoping to uncover. Now that we know how to improve the approval process, what about the sensation?
Flight 1105 to Asia.
That's us! Number 2 of the Sunscreen World Tour. Asia has become famous for its skin products, especially its sunscreens. They're light, they don't leave a white cast, and they feel nice under your makeup. It's like magic. How did they do it while the US can't? Like we saw, sunscreens in Asia are also treated like cosmetics, and they're approved for a whole CVS receipt-sized list of UV filters. A list that kind of makes the EPA's by comparison. What is this? A list for India? In South Korea alone, they have 30 approved UV filters. If you hop on over to the Philippines, 33. And then you have Japan with their humble list of 34 UV filters. Whoa! I can't believe it either. Their list never is a shame. They've also developed what they call their PA system, a system that gives you the absolute level of protection that you are getting from that product, not just the relative UVA and UVB levels. Okay, Japan, noted and goaded. Which means that the manufacturers in Japan were able to cook. Many Asian sunscreens are made using a water, alcohol, or gel base. This leads to sunscreens that are less goopy and that go on more sheer than ones found in the US. Or, let's be real, even ones in the UK or EU. However, it's not all good news. While these sunscreens feel great on your skin, major downside. You've probably heard the saying, oil and water don't mix. But do you know what does mix well with water? More water, which means that most of these water-based sunscreens don't hold up too well when exposed to even more water. Yeah, if you're going to the beach or a water park, these are probably not the best options. But for regular, everyday use, they are pretty sweet. Actually, let me write that down in our handy-dandy travel journal. Now, if, say, you are planning to go out and rough it in the sunscreen, well, we have one more stop that may just hold the answer to saving your skin. Welcome to the way down under, where sunscreens are as tough as kangaroos. Australia has the strictest sunscreen regulations in the world. And there's a good reason why. Skin cancer. Now, skin cancer is a big deal everywhere. And way more dangerous than most people tend to realize. No, really, take care of your skin. And according to the World Health Organization, Australia has the highest rate of skin cancer per 100,000 people of any country on Earth. And its neighbor New Zealand is number 4. So, as you can rightly imagine, Australia takes its sunscreen very seriously. And is the only other country outside of the US to treat sunscreen as a drug, not a cosmetic. But don't get too happy about that yet, America, because Australia does it better. Australian sunscreen sunscreen manufacturers have 30 approved UV filter ingredients. And they aren't playing about it either. You might have seen those bottles that say that they have SPF 100 and make you think that they are super strong. Yeah, that ish doesn't fly in Australia. Any sunscreens that have an SPF over 60 are given a generic 50 plus rating. Why? Well, once SPF gets that high, people start to get a little too confident and start thinking that they don't need to reapply as instructed. Reminder, you do. You do need to reapply as instructed to stay safe all day long, no matter what country your sunscreen is from. Anyway, if you're someone who's looking to spend a day at the beach going in and out and in and out and in and out of the ocean, and you need a sunscreen that's going to hold up to that barrage of water, look no further.
I'm gonna have to leave the house till 1 tomorrow. I'm thinking of doing an early live stream.
Japan, Korea, or even the EU, sunscreen has to be tested after being submerged in water for 40 to 80 minutes. And if it's still found to have at least 50% of that original SPF protection, it's finally allowed to call itself water resistant. But not in Australia, baby. If a sunscreen dares to call itself water resistant, it has to be able to maintain 100% of the original SPF protection. And to America's credit, that is also the standard we use in the US. See, sometimes we can do things right. Sometimes. Anyway, in Australia, they have taken this idea even further, where you can now find sunscreens approved to be water resistant for up to 4 hours. Yeah, there are sunscreens in Australia where you can submerge yourself in water for up to 4 hours and be just as protected as before you got wet. Although, again, please reapply for safety. Every 2 hours is best. Thank you. Now, there's one other thing Australia does to maximize its sunscreen safety, and it surprisingly has nothing to do with the actual sunscreen. If you grew up in the US or some other countries, you may remember all those PSAs we had to sit through in school about how smoking and drugs are bad. Well, Australia takes those to the extreme, and they do it to promote sun safety. It starts pretty simple with things like their no hat, no play motto, which encourages kids to wear hats when they play outside. And then they evolve into things like this musical piece. Which, I have to say, it's pretty catchy. I've been singing it for a few days. It's an earworm. However, this catchy song has nothing on their other PSA tactics, scaring you into never setting foot outside ever again.
Tanning is skin cells in trauma, trying to protect themselves from cancer. But a melanoma just 1 millimeter deep can get into your bloodstream and spread, often in your lung, liver, or brain. There's nothing healthy about it too.
Okay, we get it. Unfiltered sun plus unprotected skin equals and our goal to make American sunscreen better. The more I looked into how every other country does their sunscreen, I found myself America's super slow and archaic system of approving sunscreen ingredients hasn't just fallen behind the rest of the world, it's put people at risk and done it without them ever realizing in the first place. It failed us. Whether it's the EU's easy to understand categories, Asia's superior feel, Australia's tough as nails regulations, or even just the plain number of ingredients, America has gotten stuck with the worst possible odds. However, there is some hope thanks to the internet. If you live in America or any other country, like Japan's highly rated Biore UV Aqua Rich Watery Essence Sunscreen for your makeup routine, or happen to need something strong enough for the Aussie sun like there are plenty of sites to help you. Ones like Hair to Beauty.
Hi, Selma. Are you still there? Hello. I'm making a giant squid. I'm almost done.
These sites allow you to buy whatever international sunscreens
What time is it? Fuck, it's almost midnight.
provided you're willing to pay a little bit of a premium to capitalism. But if you don't want to spend big for stuff that, let's be real, should already be just hold on a second, because there is hope on the horizon. Many American politicians have started speaking out about how backwards the US is when it comes to our sunscreen. And there was one other thing that made some big changes when it comes to how we approve ingredients. And that was, yeah, I'm not kidding. When the US passed the CARES create rules around approving including the U.S.'s favorite drug, sunscreen. In theory, this should make the process of approving sunscreen much faster in the future, but only time will tell. In the meantime,
See how she looks.
sunscreen every day.
It's not my worst.
And remember,
Let's see how she
just a
looks.
theory, a style theory. Don't get burned. Don't get next on style theory.
Nice. At the butt. Now I need to stuff. Stuffed up. Stuffed up. Too far with you. I'm out of Squishmallow stuffing. Damn it! Is there any more at the bottom? Oh, it's soft. More Squishmallow stuffing, but I don't think I have too much. I have some in here I can feel. That's the Squishmallow. It's really softer and squishier. Oh, what's this? I'm gonna pass. Sure.
Does this sound familiar? You do your makeup really nice, and then after a long day at school or work, you come home to find that it's melted down your face, and no one told you. Well, what if I told you that the solution was setting sprays? Or at least that's what we're told is the solution. But do they actually work, or are we being set up for a really bad makeup day? Hello, Internet. Welcome to Style Theory, the show that's going to set you up for success. Now, it's getting hot outside, and we're all getting a little sweaty. And so the question that I'm getting asked is, Amy, how do I keep my makeup looking good all day long? Well, don't worry, Bessie, because I'm here to get you that answer.
Whether you're getting ready to spend your summer break outside in the sun or just need your makeup to last through a full day at work, today we are testing every beauty guru's secret weapon, the setting spray. This is a spray designed to lock in your look all day and all night, no matter what happens.
Now, I'll be honest, I've never really dipped my toes into the world of setting sprays because I'm what you call impatient. But like you, I also want my makeup to last all day long.
So today we are putting the big five of setting sprays through the Style Theory Glam Gauntlet and testing them against sweat, splash, and stamina to see which ones will keep you looking fine and which are a waste of time.
So, we're going to start off with what inspired this episode in the first place, sweat.
Whether you're hanging out in the sun, working out
Another
in the
one down.
gym, or just a generally damp person, no judgment, we all want our makeup to get glam girl, not gone girl.
I'm going to be judging these setting sprays by a 5-star system inspired by content of my face. Eyes, eyebrows, and nose. Yes, you heard me right. Nose is
Oh my god.
Yeah, there's a good reason why.
That is so soft. Get in
The
there.
big risk to your makeup is your skin's natural oil. It gets into your makeup products and starts to break it down. For most people, the nose is one of the most oily places on their face. Second,
That is so soft. Oh.
on your skin type.
For me, the nose is the hardest place
Go
to
find that
keep
shred
makeup
is.
on. And so it's like
Excuse
the
me,
big bag
Stephanie.
for this episode.
There
And
we go.
besides, it's allergies. If our setting sprays can't stand up to that, are they really as strong as they say they are?
I will be doing 2 hours of cardio per round for 3 rounds. Yes, 6 hours of cardio for 1 episode. Oh boy. Round 1 will be One Size is On Till Dawn, which happens to be our only aerosol.
I feel like I really extended the body on this one.
All-nighter, aka
Oh.
the OG of all setting sprays. This was the one that was the go-to during that 2010 Beauty Guru era of YouTube. I will be using One Size on the left half of my face and Urban Decay on the right. And this is how my makeup looks before starting our sweat test. It's important to note that for this entire experiment, I will be using all of the same makeup products so that 1, we can keep it consistent, and 2, they are my everyday products, which means we have all of the control information we could need going into this test. Now let's get sweaty.
Alright, we are back after our 2 hours of cardio, and I am honestly surprised because I typically get pretty sweaty, but not here. This felt locked in and dry, whereas like around my hairline, everywhere else, it didn't feel that way. Because if you look, this is
And I think that has to do with how dry the actual spray made my skin.
But how do they do against our 5-star system?
For our one size side, the foundation, it is definitely coming apart, so that's a fail. The eyebrows, pass. The eyes, not a pass, because that crack didn't happen on this side. And I think it has to do with how dry the spray made the eyeliner. Not good at all. Nose, not a pass. Lips, not a pass. Something weird is happening here.
Ugh, ew, this is not how my lips normally look with this product after just a few hours. Talk about it. The nose was also a fail, which makes it a 1 out of 5-star score for one size.
What are you doing one size?
Now, what about the Urban Decay All-Nighter?
It's not perfect at all. The foundation is still peeling away at the edges where all that sweat was coming in. The eyebrow, though, pass. The eye, pass. The lips, cakey. Not good. But the nose, this side definitely came off. This side might have actually survived.
I am shook. It's only test 1, and we're already seeing something take on the nose challenge?
Wild for me. Like, that's a moment right there.
Maybe I was too quick to judge these sprays. We'll have to see how they all do by the end of this episode. In the end, Urban Decay got a 3 out of 5-star score for round 1.
When it comes to, like, keeping the majority of the look in place, the All-Nighter did way better. But there's still plenty of sprays left to do. And do it all over again. This time with the against the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Spray. The milk will be on my left. Thick spray.
I think I should start wearing a mask when I start cutting this shit. There's so many little fluffies.
Beauty, ready to go, sweat it all off. And hey, if you want to help choose a challenge that we do in the future so you can learn more about your everyday life, hit that subscribe button because we are going to be posting polls here on our community tab to help you choose what I do. You will be the puppet master this time, and I merely the beauty puppet. Let's go exercise. Alright, we're back after more sweating. So this here is our milk makeup eye, and honestly, it isn't too good. This is the first time we've actually seen like a real big transfer of the eyebrows without like a touch test. I can see this splotchiness around here that says that the foundation started to come off. And the sweat was getting
There
in.
is the body done.
My nose didn't do it.
That's
So
jeez.
overall the looks great. So that's a 2 out of 5. Then on this side are lovely Charlotte Tilbury. It also
Refractor and crack. There we go. Now I just need to make his eyeballs. I do love that pink. I just think that goes really well with the gray.
We are seeing the
Okay.
same kind of shedding of
I need to
foundation
make
around
some
where I
eyeballs.
sweat the most. Well, I'm seeing some foundation also coming out from here
Where
where
did
the
that fabric I had yesterday
really
go?
hit lips. Still pretty on. Eyeliner seems pretty good.
That brings Charlotte Tilbury's final score to a 3 out of 5 stars and puts it tied for first with Urban Decay.
So I will say that for this time, I felt a little more
I'm gonna do
sweaty,
something different for this one.
which to me says that these didn't dry out my face quite as much as the other two did.
Okay,
And there's
so
a
this
reason
is
for the ingredients.
size of the eye I'm going with. So that's the outside. That's white.
Most commonly alcohol, not the drinking kind, the medical kind. Our first 2 sprays do use alcohol as their drying agent, and it's listed as number 2 on their ingredients.
Then I
Means
used
that those
last time.
little bottles contain a lot of alcohol.
But that's not true of milk and sugar.
Hello.
Sprays
Saucer?
do
Was
contain
it you?
alcohol. It's the last ingredient listed, meaning that there isn't a whole lot of
That's
it
the
in the
one.
bottle. And milk doesn't have any. Instead, focusing on hydrating ingredients like blue agave extract to lock in your look. You know who else doesn't use alcohol? Our final spray, Elf.
It's hard to feel this one. The mist is so fine that I never realized it's going on.
I'll be using it on my whole face this time, which means that Elf gets better chance to impress me this round. But will it? Only one way to find out.
We're gonna give him some pink eyes.
Alright, we just did 2 hours high walking cardio. The eyes and the eyebrows, epic. The lips, also great. It's the foundation. I'm seeing it wear away really quickly around my hairline where I sweat the most. But this one, around here, all of the makeup started to kind of like congeal into itself. So you can see how like gross it looks all up in here, all up in here. All where those acne marks are looks really messy, and it didn't when we started. So for a foundation, it's a fail, and for my nose, it's also a fail.
Even though Elf did my skin dirty this round, it still ended up with a 3 out of 5 star score coming out of our sweat test, putting it on level with Urban Decay and Charlotte Tilbury. But there are still 2 rounds to go before we crown a winner.
Okay, wait.
Round 2.
Yes, you read that right. Our next test is a splash test.
I know. We've done the waterproof makeup thing already, so why are we doing this test again? You can blame Patrick Star. No, not that Patrick Star. I'm talking about beauty creator through beauty mogul Patrick Star.
His beauty brand One Size has made quite the splash on the makeup scene. Literally.
This ain't an honest ass. Guys, this is insane.
You're right, Patrick. It is.
I deleted Garrett.
Is insane, which is why I want to test it for myself.
And to test the other sprays, which, except for Elf and Milk, also claim waterproof status. Besides, whether you find yourself caught in the rain with your love interest or attacked by a giant bucket of water by your bestie, we want to make sure these sprays can keep you looking snatched all day long.
I'm going to do my face, and then we're going to go splash my face with a little bit of water in my face candy sink that's right over there, and see if anything moves.
And see if any of that wet makeup transfers from my face to my drying towel.
Alright, this is our makeup, so we're going to spray.
After getting dry, it was time to take our first trip to Splash City.
Without touching it. The foundation's doing something weird here. It definitely came off my nose. This part is not doing too well. So, what's the score? Our one side. Eyebrows, pass. Foundation, fail. Eyes, fail. Lips, pass. Nose, big fail.
That's a rough 2 out of 5 star score.
Onto our Urban Decay side. Eyebrows, pass. Eyes, pass. Foundation, fail. Lips, pass. Nose, big fail.
What happened, Urban Decay? You were the chosen one, the one who could defeat the nose. I am so sad about this. However, it is still a reasonable 3 out of 5 star score.
I'm gonna go redo my makeup, and we're gonna test the next 2 setting sprays. Reminder for those at home that this side is our milk makeup, and this side is our Charlotte Tilbury. Let's go. Ah! That was more water than I expected. Alright, let's take a look. I'm seeing a little bit of transfer on the nose, but it's not that bad.
And it wasn't until I started to dry my face.
Ooh. On our milk makeup side, our eyebrow passed. Our foundation did not pass. Our eyes certainly did not pass. Look at the amount of eyeliner on that. Our lips passed. And our nose, unfortunately, defeated the makeup once again.
Giving Milk 2 out of 5 stars.
This will go here.
Not going well.
For our Charlotte Tilbury
That'll
side,
go
we
here.
definitely have eyebrow
Over there.
transfer,
None of these out. You have the pink eyes.
Passed.
They have none of pink eyes.
There's a lot of foundation on that. Lips passed.
You might have to use some of that pink fabric.
Which means that Charlotte Tilbury
I had it for literally years, just sitting on the shelf.
Milk in one size at 2
Looking
out
at
of
me,
5 stars.
asking what its
Why
purpose in
this
life is for.
happening? Setting sprays are meant to create what is basically a mask over our makeup. They do this by using a thing called polymers. These flexible polymers combined with the drying agents like alcohol to adhere your makeup to your skin and create a film-like barrier against outside elements.
Like, water. Which again, 3 out of our 5 setting sprays claim to protect against. Except they're not. Now, we still have one more setting spray to test here, and maybe this one can change the game. It's time for Elf.
Welcome back to our final splash test. We are committed to accuracy here, so I've redone all my makeup. We're going to splash one last time. I feel thoroughly planted. Alright, our nose definitely didn't pass, but the eyes, the eyebrows, the foundation, the lips, on both sides seems to be in place. But before we give them a full, really good rating, we have to dry my face. Oh no. So, for the full face of Elf, we have pass, fail, 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 pass.
Looking at the scores for this round, we have a
The biggest selling point of any setting spray is its stamina. It claims that it can keep your makeup locked in place all day long. But
Lies.
can it really?
Other than moisture and sweat, which we've already tested this episode, these sprays are meant to protect you against other types of dangers. Dangers like yourself.
Yes, you and me, all day, every day, we're constantly moving our face when we talk, eat, drink, blink, and we're touchy. No, really.
Your makeup. Your hair can cause your foundation to oxidize, which changes its color. This can make it look uneven or even darker than when you first put it on. And setting sprays are meant to protect against all of that all day long, or roughly 16 hours of the day. And for our stamina test.
On this side we have Urban Decay. My hair ties say it's around 5:30 in the morning. I will be in North Carolina around 6:30 p.m. So we'll see how this does by the time I get checked into the hotel. See you on the plane.
After a cross-country plane ride and a pit stop over on GT Live.
Oh my gosh, Amy, where's your strawberry? Hello, I just got off a plane.
Very long. It was finally time to see how their setting sprays had done.
How is our makeup doing? We definitely have some smudging of the eyeliner going on here, as well as the makeup here on both sides starting to fall away. So for our one side, eyeliner, pass. Eyebrows, pass. Foundation, pass. The lipstick, pass. For the nose, it's a fail.
Which brings one size to its best score of the episode. 4 out of 5 possible stars. Okay, one size. You may not have weathered the storm, but you did stand the test of time.
On to our all-nighter. Eyeliner doesn't really pass. Eyebrows, pass. Lipstick, pass. Foundation, not a pass. The nose is actually worse than the one-size version. Not a pass.
That's a 2 out of 5 star score for Urban Decay's stamina. Man, I am starting to think that setting sprays may just be all hype. Maybe day 2 in North Carolina could prove me wrong.
All right, we are back. Eyes, fail. Lipstick, fail. Nose, fail. For our Charlotte Tilbury side, we have foundation, fail. Eyebrows, pass. Eyes, fail. Lips, fail. Nose, epic fail.
Charlotte Tilbury and a 1 out of 5. With only one spray left to test for this entire episode, can Elf really bring it home?
The makeup is done. It is 6 a.m. in the morning. We are ready to test our spray.
I think this might be my last one for the night because I'm pretty tired. So I made one mer monster and a giant squid. Not my best, that's for sure.
Acted and helped raise over $17,000 for the American Cancer Society, which is amazing. But after all of that, did our Elf spray actually do the work or prove that setting sprays are just worthless?
We are back in the hotel bathroom, and the nose has once again conquered the setting spray. This did not survive. Our eyebrows seem pretty okay. The foundation, I'm seeing splotches. Didn't pass. Eyes, didn't pass. I can't pass the loss of this tip. Nose, didn't pass. Lips,
Feel that with Elf's final stamina score of 2 out of 5 stars, we need to take a look back at all of our results this episode.
Hands down, the biggest winner of today's episode was Urban Decay's all-nighter setting spray. It got both a passing grade in our sweat round as well as our splash round.
If you're looking for something strong to stand up to moisture for just a short amount of time, this is your best option. And it was the only spray to defeat my nose all episode.
However, if you are looking for something to keep your face locked in all day long, and I don't think you'll be doing anything too strenuous to build up a sweat, the clear winner is One Size.
With a 4 out of 5 star score for stamina, the best score of the entire episode, by the way, One Size is the best spray for a long day. Just keep an eye on if you start to feel a little damp. Because as we've seen throughout this entire episode, not all setting sprays are made the same or worth your money. And when in doubt, remember, the nose knows best. But hey, that's just a theory. A style theory. Keep looking sharp. Up next on Style Theory. Which country has actually mastered sun protection? And what does that mean in terms of keeping you melanoma free? Today, I'm going on a journey across the globe to answer the big question.
My mom had that. We had to get
This
a
is where
car.
great skin begins. 3 steps. Twice a day, every day. Dermatologists developed for fresh, radiant, resilient skin. This is where great skin begins. Clinique.
Cheese It MLS presents the Cheese It Wager. Goal, 10 cheesy crackers. Offside, 20 cheesy crackers. Anything for your game. Anything for your snacks. We get it.
When one wants to douse a fellow employee in the face with a large bucket of water, it's a full body motion, right? You get your whole thing into it, right?
I love a learning experience.
The other side that you want to do too is to make sure that they don't see it coming.
Hello, Internet. Welcome to Style Theory, the only channel ready to dive into the deep end. It's summertime, and that means one thing: water, water, and more water. How can we stay cute and still get the most out of our summer? Waterproof makeup, or at least that's the idea. However, I've always wondered if that's actually true. To find out, I'm about to do something that no other person has ever attempted: completing the water gauntlet. Wait, you've never heard of the water gauntlet? Let me give you the TLDR version. A water gauntlet consists of 6 rounds of in-your-face water tests. Well, in my face. Yeah, I am volunteering to get drenched 6 times in order to find out just how waterproof makeup actually is. We will be testing 3 different types of water: fresh water, salt water, and chlorinated water. That'll cover all of your major swimming spots: lakes, oceans, the pool, you get it. All of it's leading up to the ultimate test of staying power, the king of summer water activities, the water slide. If our makeup can survive this mountain of high-intensity water action, it should be able to survive anything. When it comes to makeup, we're going to be doing half of my face in regular non-waterproof makeup to be our control, and the other half in all of our waterproof products. Our full face will consist of foundation, concealer, mascara, eyeliner, eyebrow pencil, and lipstick. To keep things consistent, I will be using the same brands for both our waterproof and non-waterproof options, meaning if we use e.l.f. waterproof mascara, we will also be using e.l.f. non-waterproof mascara. We will also be doing a white towel test at the end of each section. This will let us see if the water loosens up the makeup's grip on our face and transfers onto our towels with a light touch. I mean, you're gonna dry your face if you get wet, right? First up, our freshwater round, starting with one of my favorite age-old classics.
Welcome to test 1, which is our water guns. However, I can't shoot water guns at myself, so I invited my squad.
Let me give you a quick intro to our Team Theorist water gunners. On Team 1, you had ringleader Ash and our master of analytics, Josiah. Making up Team 2, we had Queen of HR, Rachel, and our social media mastermind, Kai. And clearly they were happy to be there.
They're a little bit eager. I'm not quite sure what kind of pent-up aggression they're going to get out today, but hey, squad, are you ready to sit some water? Woo! All
I
right.
really like this matching eye.
Get
I
in
think I might do
position. We're
the
gonna
skin
shoot
for
some
the
water
next one.
guns.
As they all got into firing position, I was starting to regret the choices that had led me to this moment.
Good luck.
But I knew it was for the greater good. I got into my ready stance, eyes closed for maximum makeup exposure, and ears plugged because, not gonna lie, I was a little doubtful about how well our team's aim was going to be, and I wasn't looking to get an earful of water today. Listen, we're gonna be going in and out of water all day, and I need to draw a line somewhere.
3, 2, 1, go! I can't wipe my eyes.
team. That was right on the money. Good job. You guys did so well.
They certainly did. But what about our makeup? Immediately, it was easy to see that our control, non-waterproof side was, in fact, not waterproof. Surprise! The mascara alone was making me look more like Amy Lee from Evanescence than Amy Marie by the Sea, me. But why was it happening? Taking a look at the ingredients, I was shocked to learn that the difference was actually very small. Across the board, when we look at the ingredient list side by side, they are very similar. To make something waterproof, you need to add a mix of these 4 ingredients: waxes, silicones, silicates, and hydrocarbons. While that may sound complicated, they all pretty much do the same job, which is to help form a barrier or film to protect your makeup from letting the water in to mix with the rest of the ingredients. Except for our hydrocarbons, which do double duty here, and also act as a replacement for one big ingredient in our non-waterproof makeup: water. Yeah, the enemy of our perfectly painted face is in our makeup. This is the big difference in our mascara ingredients, and why our control side with the non-waterproof makeup is now sliding down my face and transferring onto our towel.
What are they making? I am making a giant squid. This one is going to be over 8 feet long, and I am nearly done putting the last eyeball on.
Foundation coming off on the waterproof side.
And listening to some sort of like film theory or fashion theory or YouTube theory, because if I listen to music, they shut down my live stream. And I have nothing in my head but K-pop Demon Hunter soundtrack right now.
Once we use the towel, our waterproof foundation and concealer couldn't
And nobody deserves to listen to me sing.
performing as expected.
Welcome to test 2, where this is our weather test. So this is our large-scale freshwater. We are testing to see if there's a rainstorm.
I have one more blanket after this to turn into a giant squid, and then I must go on to other projects. So hopefully I can get the giant squid done, the last one done tomorrow morning.
Well, Hurricane Matthew just rolled in. I think that the weather forecast was a little bit of a lie to me today.
Trust Mr. MatPat to return with a splash. Though I do admire that a lot of torch, speed, all aimed at my face. I'll admit his aim was great, but the true star of this moment, this hair, truly a style icon.
How bad's the drip?
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
Pretty bad.
I don't know, I think I look beautiful.
Taking a closer look, it appeared that Hurricane MatPat did cause some significant damage.
There's a little bit of smudging in the lipstick, which is different than the rest. And I'm also starting to see my skin a lot more in the actual foundation. The eyebrows are also dripping on that side. On this side, I'm not seeing my skin at all again, which is honestly quite a surprise. Like, the waterproof side is holding up so much better than I expected it to.
Moving on to the towel test for this round, the results were consistent with our water gun. The control side had significantly more transfer, but we were still seeing a large amount of our waterproof foundation and concealer transferring onto our towel. Gotta say, Urban Decay is living up to its name and falling off my face as fast as skin falls off a zombie. And it all comes back to those ingredients and the water that's in our makeup. Both our control and waterproof versions of the foundations and concealers had water as their top ingredient. Curious. The main waterproofing factor in these items are those silicones and silicates that we talked about earlier. Specifically, dimethicone, which shows up in almost all of our products, and, oh boy, trimethylsiloxylicate. Say that 5 times fast. The rest of our waterproof side was still locked in place. Honestly, I was ready to call it now. The results seemed pretty clear. Overall, waterproof was, in fact, waterproof, and our regular non-waterproof makeup wasn't. Simple, right? Not quite. Not only was our final event, the Mega Mountain Water Slide, moving in the distance like a damp Mount Doom, we were about to test our salt water in a moment that was about to challenge me as a theorist and a person.
Let's see what this looks like. Ow, everything hurts. Can you see that? Let me see the ceiling. Alright.
So you're watching my movie, and I'm already a little bit upset. But it's real. We're going to see if tears will actually make my makeup run. It is the number one reason people wear...
Ceiling's 8 foot and this guy's touching the ceiling and got his hands firmly on the ground. One giant squid. I do like that pink eyeball.
Crying with mascara running down your face.
My
is
last
iconic.
blanket
As
that I have
trying to prepare myself for what was
is this one.
the worst hour and 55
And I don't know if I can do it because it is so fluffy. It took forever to get the stitches out.
Barely
Look
a
how
minute
fluffy
into
this thing
this
is.
experiment. I didn't want to fail you. We needed this test. So
Okay,
I made
so
a
we gotta
choice
find the
and
top.
fast forwarded to the infamous ending. I was going to do it. I was going to cry real tears for this experiment, even if it meant watching a silent film version of the Marley and Me finale. Yeah, I don't know what to tell you. For some reason, we just could not get the dialogue to work here, and I was left with just the music and the sad dog visuals, and it worked.
I don't think I can finish it.
The tears, they were falling. Oh boy, were they falling. But someone would not let me leave.
Oh, Jesus. There we go. I won't get this finished, but I can get it started. What time is it? Oh, fuck, it's past midnight. No, I'm done. I have to be somewhat of a responsible person to myself and call it a night. Alright. Off. Alright. Well, thank you guys for stopping by. Thank you for the thumbs up. You guys are always loved and appreciated, even if I don't talk at you that much. A little sneak peek at the mess. I have too many projects on the go. Oh my god. Anyway, alright. Thank you guys. You have a good night, and I will probably see you tomorrow because I have no other life.